got fat 2 seconds
You
ago.
only adopted the fat. I was born in it.
You know?
Buy it.
Damn it. Oh, I unplugged this light. It was working. It was working out so well to get this side of my face.
God.
All right.
Fuck.
I
Okay,
have.
let me
Okay.
try
Keep
2
going.
seconds here. Let me unplug this shit. Plug it in.
I just recently watched Dark Knight with.
Oh, we're live, by the way.
Oh, we are?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah. That's it. Well, continue. Just I'm listening
Oh,
intensely.
we've been so Evan and I have been like fiercely quoting Dark Knight. What's
Yeah.
fuck? What's the
The
Dark
Dark
Knight
Knight Rises.
yeah? The specifically Bane. In the very beginning where he's where the guy's like, would if I took off that mask, would it kill you?
Would it? Yeah.
It would be extremely painful for you.
I like how you're going with like a weird German whiny accent.
That's what it would be extremely painful. That's what he sounds like, man.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't really know what he
I
was
mean, you
going
get rid
for
of the
there.
voice filter, and he's literally just going, "Wah, ba, 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 ba.
I'm
Yeah.
Bane.
I'm Bane."
I don't know how he came up with that. Bane is like Latin.
Yeah.
He's like Spanish, so I don't really
Yeah.
know where he decided to go
And
with the German accent.
In most incarnations, he's got like the gruff, like a Bane.
Yeah, and he has like a really deep, like messed up voice.
Yeah, he's got like a
It's like
metallic.
a messed up voice with like a Latin accent, like a Spanish Latin growly accent, and he went with like German.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
it's
that's where that mask from the comic comes from, is because he's a luchador or something,
Is
Yeah.
that what
Up
it
a
is? He's
luchador.
originally
Well-
he was a luchador.
or something like that.
No, but they took inspiration from luchadors when they designed the original Bane design,
Ah, okay.
because he's supposed to be, like a meathead. You
Yeah,
know,
He
so.
is like a me. Yeah, he's got the juice that juices him.
The juice voice.
Yeah, which
He's
they
got the
did away
juice.
with that too. He's just
That's true. I didn't even think about that. They totally got rid of his
they
juice.
don't even. Yeah, I mean he is stupidly
They de-juiced
strong.
him, man.
Yeah, he's stupidly strong, and Tom Hardy was juicing for the role, so he is still
He
a
had the
juicer
juice.
on screen.
He should have been. Yeah, he should have been. Man, you don't get rid of the juicer, dude.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah, I
de-juice.
That's so funny. Have you seen that? There's a YouTube video of.
Oh, crap, I keep forgetting the fucking. Keep going.
There's a YouTube video of like somebody dubbing over Bane, but they've like changed his personality to be like a fitness trainer, and so he's like going around like beating people up for like he's like, "What did you eat for breakfast?" And it's like a bagel with cream cheese. A bagel with cream cheese. You know what happens when you eat a bagel with cream cheese? And he starts like listing like health deficiencies. It's like, you need more fiber. And he like, it's like this scene where he kills his henchmen. He's like, this is your body off fiber. So ridiculous.
Let's see. I got this coffee mug. That's how they used to. I remember when that movie first came out. This was
Oh
like,
yeah, you'd hold up the little.
what the fuck
I'm
does it say?
Bane.
I'm a Batman guy, and I can't even pull a Bane line out of my ass.
I don't know. I don't really like that movie all that much.
You just do the darkness line, man.
I was born in the darkness.
There you go.
Born in it.
Mold.
Molded by it. Yeah. The fucking yeah, I remember.
Gotham City. You are free. And he gives this whole liberation speech.
Oh yeah, that's right. As he's blowing up the bridges.
Yeah, as he's literally making people trapped, telling them they're free.
Okay, I'm doing some.
Dark Knight Rises is not a great movie. I'm just gonna say it.
Not really.
I don't really like it. Yeah, it's not that good.
Man,
Although
I was
I did
expecting that
just
to be way more
realize-
controversial of an opinion, but I guess we all agree.
No, I'm.
Well, it is the worst of the trilogy, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt, no doubt.
I do. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it. There are parts of it that I really like, but overall, yeah, man, it's not super compelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
social
realized
media's
that the
gone.
reason, I'll bet you, I don't know if this is a real reason, but it would kind of ruin the whole first fight that Bane has with Batman if he was on Juice, the Venom, because the whole point is that Batman has lost his edge because he hasn't been Batman for 7 years, right? And the whole problem is that he's going into this situation half cocked, and Alfred is like, dude, this guy's like a straight up killer. Like, you've been out of the game for 7 years and you have a fucking knee injury, and you're gonna just go square up with this dude. and his cronies, and they're all like really bad. And so now that I think about it, it kind of would have ruined the whole thing if he was on Venom, because then it would have been like, oh, it doesn't matter how good Batman is, he's just Bane's on Venom. But the first time when he loses, it's because of his own hubris. It's because
His
he thought
hubris.
it's because he thought he could just take him going in half cocked.
You gotta
and
go
he
full
loses.
cock, bro.
And it wouldn't make any difference if
couldn't
Bane was
even
on
say
Venom.
that like that.
Gotta go in full cock.
You got to go full cock.
Ah.
Man.
See, that's the thing. And if he was on Venom, it would have made no difference, plot wise.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I think a lot of the problems of that movie are in the third act, though, where it's like, let's send Batman to the Middle East somewhere and put him in a hole,
the dark hole prison,
and then
like Pakistan or something.
yeah, and then he'll figure out how to get out of the hole, and like then we'll just put him in Gotham again.
Yeah, he'll just get there.
It was really like, why not just put the hole in Gotham somewhere? I mean,
That would have been okay. Okay, well, why would you? You know what? Actually, that's a good point. I realized because they leave a TV on so that he can watch Gotham die.
just
Right?
just
So
fucking,
why take him away from Gotham?
like literally just be like, and a sinkhole formed, and we'll throw a bunch of people in there with Batman.
That is what happened because he traps the police underneath the stadium. He creates a sinkhole.
I know, they
Yeah.
had the perfect opportunity to put Batman in a fucking hole, and they didn't use it. I don't know
They
why.
used a different hole.
In
And
Pakistan.
somehow he gets back. To
Why?
Gotham.
They also could have
Why
like
send him to
completely
Pakistan?
unmasked him too. I mean, he gets there. He doesn't have the bat suit on anymore.
Yeah.
So they could have
Well, I
done a lot
think
more and like unmask him and
Wasn't
like,
his secret identity already ruined at that point in the movie, though?
was it?
Or no?
I don't remember.
I thought it. Does it get revealed in that movie?
It does get revealed. Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
knows who Batman is by the end of the movie. That's why he survives and then like moves to another,
To France.
like Europe or something. France.
Yeah.
Like they
Mhm.
haven't heard of Batman in France. Fucking idiots. They haven't heard of Batman in France, in Paris.
You think
I don't
someone-
know.
that's a really good point. You think Bruce Wayne could go anywhere in the world and not be recognized?
Yeah, I mean, Paris is a really big city. Like,
I don't. Hey, the French are very xenophobic. Okay, they probably as soon as he couldn't speak French, they're like, "Nah, you are out." That's Austrian. I went. I don't know. I
Why
went
did you go
out.
full Schwarzenegger for that?
I don't know. I don't know.
You
I
are
don't know.
out.
You are out of here.
It's over.
You are too
out.
Dude, we should do Dark Knight Rises sometime because I think my dad really likes that movie, but I was never.
Oh,
a
does
huge
your dad
fan.
like that movie? We haven't done a
think
movie
so.
that your dad really liked that all of us hated.
True, we have definitely done the opposite many times.
Yeah.
So we need to
Yeah,
turn
Nice Guys.
turn the
Example of
tables.
that.
Yeah.
Nice Guys is a
Um,
great example of that.
I mean, I
Exactly.
didn't love. I guess we haven't done a movie that Daryl loves that we hate. I didn't love a couple of those time travel movies.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Oh, like Time Cop?
No, it was
Or
Time
Time
Crimes.
Crimes, sorry.
no,
Time
Time
Crimes.
Crimes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
That was
a
not
rough-
good. That was not good.
I liked Time Crimes. There was boobs in it. That was fucking. That was
Yeah, I
fun,
mean,
you know?
the boobs are always fun, but
Boobs are good.
boobs are good.
I didn't say I hated it.
Yeah,
Boobs,
no, I think
boobs
it's-
definitely in the plus column.
That's going in the pros, okay? I'm gonna take every other bit of that movie and put that in the con column because I did not like that movie. But speaking of movies, we did a TV show.
Are we live?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're
live.
live.
Oh,
I did say we were live.
It doesn't
I
matter.
did say.
You actually
Damn,
said
okay.
that while Jeremy was off mic. So
Mhm.
did
I really?
in preparation.
Phones.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn
he
it.
was-
Okay, I
he
was
was not on mic when he said
Okay,
that.
Okay,
yeah.
into my
'Cause
defense.
normally I do it when not everyone's here, just so I can get the ball rolling. But man, I still tried to include you in that, but you were gone. Well, that worked out nicely. So we are unjoined by my dad, but joined by me, Dana Waters, Jeremy Dallas, and Ben Nickerson. And we did WandaVision, and boy howdy do I have some stuff to say about WandaVision.
Oh wow! Is this is interesting? Do you
It's-
feel like it's controversial, or do you feel like you've got a fair standing here?
Hey, howdy, Liz. Hi. I probably controversial, maybe controversial. I think they're very valid points though. So
Okay.
Ben actually wanted to watch this one. Ben,
I did watch. I watched the first 7 episodes in one sitting, and I was like, you know what? This is good, and everybody on the internet is saying, like, talking about it. So, like, we should watch this. And then, that was 2 weeks ago before it was finished, and then it finished before we had a chance to talk about it. So here we are.
We had a mad Wikipedia scramble because I finished the 7th episode, and I was like, Ben said it was
the 8th
done.
Episode. We thought there was 8 episodes, and then
the 8th one,
I'm just gonna say that says something about the show right there. Because if I finished the 8th episode and that was it, and there was no 9th, I might have just been like, okay, I guess that's the end.
Yeah, I was like,
Honestly.
because I believed Ben. I was like, 8 episodes, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, they're really
I thought it was 8
cliffhanging you
episodes,
right
too.
there.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're not
there's
supposed
the big
to.
reveal at the end of episode 7, and then
Yeah.
or episode 8 rather. There's
Yeah.
that big reveal at the end of episode 7, another big reveal at the end of episode 8, and then the finale that's very Marvel-esque in its ending.
I would
Which I was
argue.
gonna talk
Well,
about.
I know we're jumping again. I would argue that last episode is very DC-esque.
You
Actually.
think so? Interesting.
Yeah. Like if you look at the current DC
like
movies, that come out
like
over the last few years.
1984. You're saying like it's a bit.
No,
It's a bit.
more like Dawn of Justice.
Whoa.
Yeah,
The Justice League movie.
the Batman
animated
versus
one, right?
Superman.
Oh,
Batman
you
versus
mean
Superman.
that?
The live action
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Animated.
Mhm.
I thought you were talking about
Animated.
Not
animated.
in tone, just like all this CGI in my face
There was a lot of CGI in the face.
for
that's true.
like the whole
Well, let's
thing.
start-
Anyway, we're jumping the gun.
Yeah, let's
but-
start from the beginning. The first 2 episodes, I think we can talk about as one block because they are kind of before things get going, and they're both in a very similar style. And they play their cards really close to their chest.
They're what?
They're cards.
Whoa, man.
Cards. That was
All right, there we go.
man. Goodness, how far are we into the thing? I don't know.
We're what,
We
like
might
10
get
minutes in, and
demonetized
we're already
for
gonna
that.
get banned?
Yeah, out of here,
YouTube?
man.
Cool, awesome.
How
Goodness.
dare you?
God, where's Bane? He needs to throw me in a dark hole for that slip.
Yeah. Also, apparently, it's your fault that Liz has Disney Plus now, Ben.
Oh wow!
to blame.
Congratulations to me for being awesome for Disney. Where's
Sounds
my
like Liz
check?
is not happy about having Disney.
Yeah, well, it's because she's watched Aladdin 4 days in a row now, and she can't help herself. I get it. Yeah.
I don't think that's the reason. Let us know in the chat if you like Disney Plus.
This is everybody I know. Like, not everybody I know, but like, there. This is a tangent, but there's like a kind of person in California specifically that is like a Disney girl. And when I was using Tinder specifically in California, that like every other girl would be like, I have a Disney pass and I spend all of my time at Disneyland, and my favorite princess is this one, and if you can't handle that about me, then like it's never gonna work out.
Mhm. Yeah,
and I always
those
thought it was
those Disney ears are like a holy grail to them.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
And
it's a
I
fashion
more
piece.
power
They
to
wear them
you, but I
proudly.
always thought it was really funny that like this is an acceptable kind of like cultural thing to be like, oh, I love Disney so much, everything about me is Disney. But like you look at the flip side of that with guys or like in like anime or like anything that's like equally as nerdy as Disney, and it's just like loser.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think Disney is
Interesting.
pop culture, you know?
Well, Disney, but you know what? You bring up a good point, Ben, because Disney is thought of as pop culture, and it is pop culture. But actually, if you think about it, it's like the nerdiest shit out there. Like it's super nerdy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like-
it can be nerdy, that's fine, but it's still pop culture.
No, I get that
they
it's
have
pop
created
culture, but,
pop
like,
culture icons. I can't talk. No one can talk. It's just,
We're all
we'll start again next week. All right, good night, everybody.
All right,
I'm
yes,
over.
Yeah.
So, but they've created pop culture icons since Mickey Mouse came out. You know?
Yeah, but I'm saying that being obsessed with any sort of like media is nerdy.
That's what I mean.
That's what nerd culture is being obsessed with a particular form of media.
True.
Like
Yeah.
Star Wars, like anime, like D&D, like any of those things. You're just
Mhm.
really all about this one particular thing. So
Marvel.
basically what I'm positing, Marvel,
Mhm.
what I'm positing
Same difference.
is that Disney girls are fucking nerds. And
They
they need
are.
to accept that about themselves. They're fucking
Right.
nerdy.
Okay.
And it's
Totally,
not
yeah.
cool.
They're all
Don't
into the lore, the
It is
same way
cool.
that
I
you
mean,
would
it's
be
cool.
about like anime or whatever.
Yeah, there's a whole there's a whole culture around it. I mean, Disney culture is a very specific thing. Having grown up in California, like you two, going to Disneyland was like just like that was like we didn't have going to the mall really. We went to Disneyland. That's where.
Yeah, I mean that was well, especially in Orange County specifically. Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah,
but it's like really
so
crazy
close.
because, I mean, also thinking about it from the perspective of like, people that want to date these girls off of Tinder specifically, because this is where I countered the most of it. It's like, okay, so basically you come with a $1,500 per year minimum. Because
I would be paying for it.
There's a
I have
major
to have
price
the
tag
Disney
associated
season
to-
pass, and the cheapest one is like over $1,000, and I have to be going to
Yikes,
Disneyland.
there's no way.
You
Is
can
that
pay
true?
monthly. It's like $60 a month.
Okay, $60 a month, so
I think.
60, so
I
6
think.
times
So
12.
to date
what is
you,
that?
I have to pay an additional $60 a month. Add that.
Yeah,
to the
it's like,
column.
I mean, it's just so funny to me because I'm like, damn, dude, the whole concept is so weird to me. I don't know why it's so like everybody acts like it's normal, and I'm like the Joker from The Dark Knight, man. I'm losing my mind.
Not about
So before
money.
we start this, I have a dear asshole.
Oh, and you have an asshole. Okay.
I do have a dear asshole. We're bringing this segment back whenever we remember it.
Man, we had this
So,
tangent into tangent. Okay.
I
here we go.
have a huge problem with people complaining about pop culture icons being in pop culture. It's driving me insane.
Are
And
you
this is
talking about
specifically
the monarchy stuff.
what monarchy? Oh no! I don't care about that. I don't even know what's going
Okay.
on.
Oh, Oprah.
So
Yeah,
I don't care.
All right, go ahead. What's
that's
your
what Oprah does. What are you talking about? Like, why are people
Yeah, I
mad
know.
about
It's
that?
like, oh,
that's
Oprah's
literally
like-
what she does. She talks to people. She's a talk
Hold
show
on.
host.
All right, what was
But
what
anyways,
what
that's something
other
else.
thing
That's
is
dumb.
because I feel like this is the same thing as that.
It's similar, but basically, well, okay. So Fortnite, right, is
Okay.
like one of is probably besides Minecraft the most popular video game in culture right now. It's like at least
I think
one
it's
of
like
them.
the most streamed
you know?
still, and it's
It's
definitely earned
up there.
place.
It's up there, but
Yeah.
it is. You can agree now that Fortnite is pop culture because it's crossed it's crossed the line into like mainstream media. Like it's been covered by news outlets and stuff like that. Parents know
It's
about
also
it.
in the latest Marvel movie.
It's referenced in movies, like blockbuster movies and all that stuff.
Dancing.
Fortnite is pop culture.
Yeah.
I would also argue that Master Chief is pop culture because everybody knows about Halo. Halo's been around for years and years and years. Alien this is what really pissed me off is Alien, the 1979 movie, is also pop culture. Okay. And so when people complain that these other pop culture icons are in a pop culture game, it's like, what are you doing? Like, okay, so this comes from the Alien and Ripley are now in Fortnite.
Okay.
And people and all the people are like, oh man, look what what are they doing to my characters?
They're like, what, ruining
like
Fortnite?
you're ruining no, you're not ruining Fortnite. You're ruining Alien. Somehow.
How could you?
You are somehow
Hold on a second.
ruining Alien.
brand.
That ship has sailed, my friend.
Yeah. First
Ridley
off,
Scott ruined Alien
have you
by
seen
putting out
Prometheus?
three
Called
fucking
Prometheus.
garbage movies. Like what?
Are there three of them?
Prometheus, yeah.
What is it? Prometheus, the
Alien
second
Covenant.
one, Alien Covenant, and then
What's the other one?
is
Wasn't there
another
one more?
I can't remember.
There's one after it.
I
Actually, I
stopped
I'm pretty
watching
sure
it
there's
after.
one after it. Yeah.
Is there really?
You're right.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
how-
not. There might
that's
just be
how-
two.
Might be
Either
two.
way, those movies are so bad that like
Well, and
Alien
also
was,
they have the attachment to the Alien versus Predator movies, which are pretty much garbage.
Yeah,
as
I mean
well.
Predator is also in Fortnite, and people are getting pissed off about that. I'm like, you're getting mad that pop
What do
culture
you-
icons are
if
in a
you're-
pop
why-
culture.
Where were these people when the Predator movie came out? The new one. That
Exactly.
movie is so bad.
That movie
Oh,
is garbage.
Which
The-
one?
the Shane Black
Predator or oh, okay.
The
'cause
Shane
there
Black
was a
one, the
that
Predator. Yeah, Predator. It's just
there was
or
one
it's
called
the Predator.
Predators.
That Predators
You
was
seen
the
that one?
2010 one with Adrian Brody.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow, it was already that long ago.
Yeah, it was a pretty.
I think
that
the
was a long
Adrian
time
Brody
ago.
one is the one that
Oh,
I'm
wow.
talking about. That was garbage.
Oh, that
Yeah,
one was
that
pretty
was 10
garbage.
years
But then
ago, I
also
guess.
the Predator, which is Shane Black, which came out I
That's
think
a
last year or the
newer
year
one.
before. That one's also garbage. But I'm not talking about that. I'm literally talking about like pop culture icons are in pop culture and people lose their minds. Like another example is like when the Marvel characters started getting into Fortnite too. And it's like, what? Why are you guys mad at this? It doesn't ruin or take away from the original the media that you like watching.
It ruins the integrity. It's like, you can't walk down the street without seeing like Iron Man on your Carl's Jr. cup.
And no one's getting mad about that. Also,
it's ruining the integrity of Iron Man. Tony Stark
meanwhile I'm like slurping my Coke Zero, and there's like a little caricature of.
Yeah, what about in like the Lego movie where Batman's in the Lego movie?
How about the
I love that.
How about the Star Wars mascara that came
Lego
out
Batman's
during
hilarious.
it's dumb. I mean, like the thing is, everything that we love is going to be ruined. And like, just fucking deal with it, dude. Like, it's ruined by being in pop culture.
Not being ruined. It's there. It's just there. These are IPs that people are allowed to use. They're buying the license and using it. No one else is doing anything video game related with that's good, in my opinion, with the Aliens license, except for Alien Isolation, and that was 2016.
Alien Isolation.
There's a new game coming out.
Alien in Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat has a long history of pulling this crap too.
Yeah, the Joker's in Mortal Kombat.
Vader, you can play
Terminator's in
Joker,
Mortal Kombat, and nobody.
Terminator,
but you know
Jason
what?
Voorhees, Freddy Krueger.
Because little kids don't play that game, people don't get mad. But if little kids play the game, they lose their minds.
What we're seeing is the exact same thing that happened with Minecraft. Remember when Minecraft was super uncool, and then there was just like a day that like the internet decided that Minecraft was actually sick.
I liked Minecraft since like 2010, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, because we grew up in the Minecraft generation. We weren't 30-year-olds that were all pissed off about Minecraft when it first came out.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like this is just gonna keep happening. I guarantee in like 5 to 10 years, Fortnite is gonna be the shit because everybody that's our age now is gonna be like super nostalgic for it.
Nostalgic for Fortnite or Minecraft?
I guarantee it.
I mean,
people that are 12 right now that become our age are gonna be.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They're gonna be like, oh man, Fortnite was so cool, and then like there's gonna be some new game called like Pixel Blocks or some shit that like. They're going to be like, Fortnite is way better than Pixel Blocks. I can't believe they're putting in the snarf from Marvel vs. Capcom 4 into Pixel Blocks. It's ruining the integrity of Disney.
Yeah, see, that's a good, like, Marvel vs. Capcom was the fucking shit when it came out. And really no one was throwing hissy fits when that came out. You know, and it's like you're taking two pop culture icons and they're together. Like it doesn't make any sense.
I bet you there was a 16-year-old girl who was super into Disney, and she saw like freaking I guess Marvel wasn't Disney back then. My joke doesn't work. I was gonna say like Iron Man can't be in Marvel vs. Capcom. That's boys game.
That's actually what I was gonna say. When Marvel vs. Capcom came out, no one knew who the hell Iron Man was. No one knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Yeah.
No one knew who Iron Man was before that first.
Were the Guardians of the Galaxy were in? Or did they?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
no,
okay, but you're just saying like
properties.
The
like
properties.
Even the really big ones, like that are big nowadays. No one knew Marvel when Marvel vs. Capcom came out was like Spider-Man, Hulk.
That's true. I only knew X-Men and Spider-Man, and then maybe one or two others. Yeah,
like that's about it. So. It's funny how, and I guess they did that because of that deal, that horrible deal they made. That's why they had to do things like Iron Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, because they actually didn't have the rights to their big characters. That's the whole reason they.
Yeah, but they made their little characters kind of like way cooler. So
that was the genius. Like they turned it into a positive, but that's why Iron Man was made, right? I think that's what, instead of doing like another Spider-Man movie or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they didn't have the rights to them at the time.
And they knocked it out of the park, which takes us neatly back into where they are now with WandaVision and everything that they're accomplishing. I think it's incredible that like we've even got to the point where WandaVision is a thing. Like we're just gonna make an 8-episode miniseries that is hinged on 9-episode miniseries that is hinged on God, the fucking Wikipedia article. 23 movies of lore, something like that, right? How many movies?
I was thinking about this the other day.
I want lore.
Like we're living in historical times. Really quick, I just want to give a shout out to basically what's going on with the MCU. Nothing like this has ever been done before. We've never had so many movies come out that reference each other, and they're like this big interconnected web that have all come to a culmination at Avengers, right? The two Avengers Endgame. And the one before it, Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yeah. So like nothing like this has ever happened. And you can say what you will about like, oh, I didn't watch this one, I didn't watch this one, superhero fatigue, whatever. I mean, I like them all, except for a couple of outliers. But like, it's cool to be living and be appreciating something like this. You know, it's crazy. And
that's true.
Me as a nerd, like being able to see all these people on the big screen being brought to life in like the best way possible, because the Marvel movies, they may be pretty like cookie cutter in some ways, but they are good movies. They are entertaining. They do their job, you know. So it's cool.
They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's cool to have like seen, even the Incredible Hulk, the one with fucking Edward Norton, you know, which started the MCU. Like having seen that in the theaters, and I've seen like almost every other one since, you know, in the theaters, and be able to watch it, and then watch Avengers and like see that, you know, for Infinity War and Endgame, and like be a part of it. It was really, really cool. I just we're living in a very interesting time for media right now, and now that it's crossing over into also other big ticket items like TV shows, which are doing incredibly well right now, and seeing that kind of crossover, and that, in my opinion, is the perfect place for Marvel stuff to live, because there are so many storylines. Like even like we'll get to it later, but White Vision is from the comics, you know, and it'd be very hard to fit him into anywhere
into a movie
else.
Yeah, well, I think that you can actually see that. I watched Age of Ultron a couple nights ago, and you can see the challenge that they had of like kind of collapsing as much as they could into these movies. You know, it like Age of Ultron, I think it's a perfectly fine movie. It's not maybe the strongest one that they have, but
it's kind of middle of the road, I think, in terms of Marvel movies.
Yeah, but it's got like plenty of great action, and the story makes sense, and it's like nothing is like seriously wrong with like the plot lines or anything like that. It's like you know, just like a solid movie. And there's so much that they did in that movie. I mean, they introduced the Vision, they introduced the twins, who are mutants, even though they weren't allowed to call them mutants at the time. They introduced Ultron, who's one of the primary like problems with the Avengers, and like that cascades into Tony Stark and Captain America going at it in Civil War. And like it's just like it's incredible that they set up so much stuff with just 2 hours. And so now that they're kind of able to expand their horizons by kind of creating content that I guess can be however long they want it to be on Disney Plus, like anywhere from 28 minutes to an hour, however long the last episode was. I think it was over
like 50 minutes.
Yeah, was it 50 minutes? Yeah. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. I hope they don't squander this opportunity to keep things going. I do think it's going to be challenging to keep things fresh and new for the new phase 2 generation or whatever. But
this will be phase 4.
Oh, phase 4. Okay.
What they're getting into?
Yeah. They're once they get 5, then they can snap their fingers and all of our money disappears. And like, I don't know. I'm very impressed with what they've done so far, and I'm actually, you know, excited to talk about the specifics of WandaVision itself.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
So like I said 30 minutes ago, the first,
not to go on a tangent or anything, but fuck pop culture icons, okay? Put them in video games.
Back to it. Yeah, what did you guys think of the first 2 episodes? What were you thinking when you watched them? Like, did you have any like external knowledge about the series at this point, or were you kind of going into it blind?
You want to go first, Jer?
Sure, I can go first. Okay. Yeah, I went into it pretty blind. I knew that all I really knew about it is that they were going for a sitcom, you know, in the style of like the sitcom, and it was to a certain extent kind of supposed to be like an homage or a love letter to, you know, kind of shows of old.
Yeah.
And holy crap, they really did that pretty well. And I didn't put it together because I guess I don't know enough about my old school sitcoms. I didn't realize that until, you know, way down the line, that a lot of it, the early episodes are modeled after like the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Well, not the early episodes specifically. Each episode before like the break, I guess, into like Marvelness is based off of a different sitcom from a different decade.
Right. Okay. So I should say
So,
Dick
yeah.
Van Dyke and shows like that. I didn't know at the time. I guess what I should rephrase. I didn't know at the time that they were modeling after specific shows.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
the intros
we're just
were
borrowing a little bit from this show, or borrowing a little bit from that one, and it wasn't abundantly obvious to me until the Malcolm in the Middle episode, which I know we're jumping ahead, but that's when I was like, oh, everything's. They're like, okay, I see what they're doing. But the
yeah.
first two, they were really good. Wow, it's a slow burn.
Yeah, it's
So,
very slow.
I mean, like that did kind of get me. I'll be honest with you. It's a slow burn, and there's only so much of the old. Like they really, it's basically just straight up a weird sitcom for like 2 episodes.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it. It's just a weird sitcom for 2 episodes. You talk about playing your cards to the chest.
Careful.
I think you said
Wow,
that
it was
wrong.
like you're not get close to the chest. Excuse me. Yeah, I said it wrong in trying to. You and I, between the two of us, if we combined our terminal, we'll get
We
like
could
a
be extremely
actual real-
offensive.
Yeah, there we go. Just get more and more offensive.
Yeah, you could
There
go that
we
route too. So wow, man. I mean, they give you nothing. They give you nothing but this weird ass sitcom for 2 episodes.
Yeah, with literally like maybe a couple minutes of intrigue.
A couple weird
each
things
episode.
happen.
Yeah.
There are weird things kind of happening in the beginning, but really, it's just like 2 episodes of a regular ass, not regular, but like a sitcom. And I don't know. I didn't know how to feel about that. Part of me liked it, but part of me was like, dude, I started feeling like I can't take a whole season of this. Like,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. I guess around episode 3, they started kind of revealing a little bit more about what was going on. But yeah,
Yeah,
those
that
first 2
was
episodes were rough for me.
Sorry, Dan, and I guess what was your opinion of those first 2 episodes?
Oh, well, I went into it blind too. I basically knew the same as Jeremy. I was like, okay, they want to do like a homage to old sitcoms. And I watched the first episode after it came out because everyone's like, oh my God, I love it. Like, it's so cool. Like, seeing these characters in this way. So I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. I didn't even, it was like a 27-minute episode. I probably got 20 minutes in. I was like, I turned it off. I was like, I can't do this.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
like,
I can't
I can't do it. I didn't even get to like the twist of that episode, you know? I was just like, oh, like I don't like old sitcoms. I don't really like sitcoms in general.
I
and so
kind of do. I don't
yeah.
know.
So
Anyway, continue.
yeah, watching them, I was just like, oh man, this is quite a slog. So when you wanted to do WandaVision, I was like, okay. I mean, I know there's other things going on now. Like I've seen some of the, the GIF of Jimmy Park, I think is his name, who plays Detective Wu. And he does the card trick. I saw that, and so I was like, okay, well they go out into the real world, quote unquote, at some point. So I was like, okay, there's more stuff going on here. So, but yeah, I gotta say, I did not like anything that had to do with the sitcoms at any point in the show. Any point in the season, I did not like.
I liked
any
some of it, but it's just the first two. The first two are the worst for me, and then after that, I don't know. It seemed like there was a healthy balance. It's not like I didn't want the sitcom aspect. I did. I like sitcoms, but I needed a little bit. Like I needed something to counterbalance. I can't. Not I can't. I did, but I don't want to watch 30 straight minutes of just like a straight, like sitcom imitation. So having the balance after episode 3, where it's like still very sitcom-y, but also other stuff's going on, that was good. So after that happened and there was a balance, it was better for me.
Yeah, and I think episode 3 is kind of the one that really. So episode 3's twist at the end, I thought was really intriguing. The episode itself, I thought was actually the weakest, like the plot of the sitcom. I didn't mind the first 2 because they just played it so close to like what you would see in the Dick Van Dyke Show, or I forget what the the second episode, I Love Lucy. Yeah. And so like I was like, yeah, I mean, this is fine. I don't dislike these kinds of things, and I can tell like they're being very, very true to the style of those scripts.
And I did admire that.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see their
how,
acting.
Yeah, how serious they actually took the whole sitcom thing. I'm sure the actors had a lot of fun.
Yeah, Catherine
I'm sure
Heigl looked like she was having a gas, as she said in one of those episodes. I mean, she's great in anything.
She's so good in it. Yeah.
Like you're used to doing like these big blockbuster Hollywood films, and now you're basically doing an old school sitcom. Like, how many opportunities do you get to like do something like that as an actor nowadays?
Yeah,
So I'm sure they had fun.
It was really. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was fine. Some of the stuff in the sitcom episodes, I was like, yeah, I mean, this is the cheesy kind of funny that these old shows are. And like, it works. But episode 3, I thought the pregnancy thing was a little bit odd. And I was just like, man, this is kind of strange, but I guess I'll roll with it. And her friend comes over, and like I thought, like, and her friend is what's the actress's name?
Are you talking about Katherine Heigl?
Not Katherine Heigl.
What's her name?
The sword agent.
I don't know the actress's name, but
Geraldine.
Photon.
Geraldine is the character, Geraldine.
Right? Yeah, so she shows up, and it is funny because she does kind of come out of nowhere, and because of how odd the show's been so far, you're just kind of like, okay, I guess this is her best friend. But at the very end of the episode,
Monica is her name.
Monica. Is it Monica?
Oh, she's Geraldine in the fantasy world, right?
Yeah, but I think the name's Monica in the real world. World. Yeah.
Yeah, and so either way, Wanda figures out, like, wait a second, you're not supposed to be here. Like, who the hell are you? And that was such a, like, weird...
That was cool, actually.
I was like, what? Wait, what? Who the fuck is this, then? And she, like, shoots her, and she, like, zips cartoonishly out of the world. I thought it was so funny that she's like, it was like a scene from, like, an old B movie.
Looney Tunes.
Like, boosh, 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 through all these walls.
It's like Bugs Bunny, man.
It goes flying out, and then you see like the little encampment, the military base, and you're like, oh fuck, what is Wanda doing? Because it's the first time you actually kind of I guess the first time is when the Vision like touches the guy's face, and he's like, please, I got a family, and Vision's like, all right, I'll just turn you back off.
Okay, let's get out of here.
That you correct. I don't know the proper terminology. Is it aspect ratio? What is it?
Yeah,
at the end, that actually blew my mind when they changed the aspect ratio mid episode like that. That was really cool. I mean, it's not a big, I guess it's not a huge deal, but
that's a cool touch.
It made an impact on me for sure.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, that, and then the next episode is the Everybody Loves Raymond episode, I think, right? Or
I think
maybe it's
right,
Full House or something. I
don't know. That's the 80s one, right?
Yeah, the 80s one. I'm not as clear on 80s sitcoms, and
Everyone Loves Raymond is 90s.
That's a 90s. Yeah. But
yeah, 90s to early 2000s, I think.
But it was very much in that style though, with the twins, and then the twins like made themselves grow, which was like everything
that was disturbing.
It was very weird to me.
Yeah.
What's up with the kids? I know we're gonna have to talk about it eventually, but now we're talking about
the kids. Well, I mean,
what's up with them? Where did they come from?
She invented them.
Yeah, she
literally made them. That's why at the end, when everything's falling apart, the kids are like deteriorating, just like Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we are supposed to care about these kids. Like,
supposed to.
There's an episode where that witch is strangling them, or whatever, and holding them captive. And there was an episode, maybe before that, actually, where she's trapped in the. I know, again, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but where she's in the dungeon, the basement, the witch's lair. And she's like, "Where are the children?" And she's like, "I have them hostage over here. You'll have to blah blah do what I say, otherwise the kids get it." And you're like, "Well, why do we care then if they were just completely made up?"
Because they're not made up to Wanda. She's like, the whole show is her struggling with this fantasy world that is perfect for her.
Yeah,
and
she's like creating her own perfect life. Yeah, where she still has Vision and has like this.
It's basically like if one day
but Vision we care about because Vision is an established character in the Marvel MCU. These kids came out of nowhere. We have 2 seconds to get to know them. So now they're like, now this is the whole reason driving her to do what the witch says because of these random kids that grew up 2 seconds ago.
Well, I mean, it's because Wanda is still trapped in the. It's like imagine if you woke up one day and you were in literal heaven. And then, like, everything was fake, but you didn't know that. And so you're just, like, in love with everything around you. And you grew really attached to like, something that wasn't real. And then, like, somebody's giving you CPR and you're, like, coming back to. And you're like, oh, no! Everything that I love!
My kids!
It's all being destroyed! You know, that's kind of the idea.
Oh, well, I guess. It's just that at that point, when they're being held hostage, she already knows they're not real. She already knows they're fans. So what does she expect is going to happen?
I think she
Yeah.
just hadn't given up on keeping everything.
On holding the town hostage at that point. She's still like, I still have dreams of keeping this town hostage and having my fake kids.
Yeah. Well, she knows she
I
knows what
understand
she's
your- what
doing
you're-
though. You know, because there's that, I think episode 4 or something, when she takes that drone or
It
whatever,
seems like she
walks it
knows
out
what
and-
she's doing the whole time. Yeah, she
and
takes
she's
the
like, "Leave me
drone
alone."
out.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, oh, my fake kids, you have my fake kids hostage. Rah, I guess I'll have to do what you say. It's like she knows they're fake. She knows they've been fake for a long time, actually. So why do we care? Like, I understand what you're saying, Ben, and I think you're right. That is what the whole point was. But for me, I was like, why are they so important? Why does it matter that they're being held hostage?
Well, you know why Marvel people care is because her kids are like legit comic characters.
True. Yeah. They actually
the-
were created with Vision using magic.
Yes, and they all have powers at the.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right.
They have the same powers. He has the Quicksilver powers, and the other one has the Mindo powers or whatever.
He can hear thoughts or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so the
Yeah,
kids
so-
grew up randomly in episode 4.
And also, without the kids, we couldn't have had the best episode of the entire series, which was the fucking Malcolm in the Middle episode. Which honestly, when it started with the kids, I was ready to hate them. I was like, literally like, fuck 10-year-olds. I don't want to watch some stupid snot-nosed brat. Like, do a whole episode, and by the end of it, I was like, these kids are fine. This feels like Malcolm in the Middle. I actually really, really enjoyed that episode. I thought it was the strongest one. I thought it was hilarious when they go to Halloween and they dress up in the iconic old school Marvel
That was
outfits
cool.
from the comic
Yeah.
books. And then they're like so low budget and shitty. Like the Vision's little thing is like,
Yeah.
They look exactly like the comics, which looked low budget and shitty. They didn't
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it was so good. I really, really enjoyed that. I loved that Pietro comes back as the Quicksilver from X-Men.
Yes.
That was the best.
And they make a
saying-
kick-ass reference.
Do they
Oh
really?
God.
Yes, they make it. Well, because both Quicksilvers are in Kick-Ass, right? They play.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a scene where kind of like, I forget what they're talking about, but Elizabeth Olsen or whoever, I don't know who it is, but someone's like, that would be Kick-Ass, and it was like,
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Did you-
I mean,
I'll
it's a
take
bit of a
it.
stretch, but okay.
I didn't pick up
Okay.
on that.
no,
so-
no, it's not a stretch. Though they specifically said it to that character, and it was done in a way. Kick-Ass. That's not really a Marvel.
No,
like,
not
would
at
you
all.
normally expect that to be written into the script? And the way they said it was so like
Like on the
That would
nose,
be
like wink, wink.
Kick ass.
Kick ass.
it's
Did I say it
I can't
right?
do a huge reference to it, but I think them deliberately throwing that in the script was
Like they have to give in the credits, they have to give reference to the 2010 Kick-Ass movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we were allowed to say this. Liz does say the best episode because of the wink, wink to the multiverse, and I was like, Evan Peters, what are you doing here? See, I thought I really liked that how they recast the brother because he's supposed to be dead, and so she
Yeah.
has someone else play him, and they're like, yeah, let's get Evan Peters, who's the actual Quicksilver in like the Fox movies. So
It
Yeah.
was
Oh, that
it
was-
was so, especially because he's a much better Quicksilver too.
that was like a Deadpool moment for
For
Disney to pull.
sure.
That was hilarious. I thought
Yeah,
that
it
was
very
great.
Deadpool-ish.
it was
Mhm.
so good. I mean, it was like as soon as he opens the door, and then they do the fucking Malcolm in the Middle. Oh, there's a featured guest applause in the
exactly.
background.
And I was gonna say that was the perfect episode for him because the Malcolm in the Middle vibe, it fits so well with that character and that actor
With the Quicksilver
Right up
that
his
Evan
alley.
Peters
with his kind of Quicksilver. Yeah.
yeah, it was perfect. I mean, could you imagine if Pietro came back and now I'm making kind of jokes about Hawkeye and he's a bowman, but I am too quick. It's like,
Whatever. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
yeah, I mean, it just, I
think-
fucking- and that scene, oh my God, the scene where she's like, "You're not my brother. Where's your accent?" He's like, "Where's yours?"
Yeah, that's true.
They make
That's true.
they make mention of that a couple times. I think the witch even is like, that accent seems to come and
It
go.
really comes and goes.
Whatever.
That's true.
Really
Like,
fucking
what is it? She has it for sure in Ultron, and then I can't remember the next movie that she's in. Is it
Civil
Captain
War, I
America?
think.
Is it Civil War?
I think it's
She
Civil
just
War.
doesn't have an accent anymore.
Mhm.
They're just like, yeah, we'll get rid of that. That was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
well,
And it's
I
like
mean-
3 days later.
Colvia.
Mm.
So cool, yeah. Yeah, well, she was dating the Vision, man. He just kind of minded her, and then she
Minded her.
That's-
got all mindy.
That's how you keep your girlfriend happy, is you just mind them.
Just mind him.
Mind your girlfriend. But that whole thing, and then the the next episode, which is the Modern Family esque episode.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
That one was fun too. I loved
that
the. I really enjoyed the way that they did the testimonials, which are very common in like the Parks and Rec and The Office and Modern Family, which I think this one was specifically Modern Family based. Where she's doing the testimonials and everything like that, and then at the very end, we basically learn that Agnes, played by Katherine Heigl, is actually Agatha, the witch from the comic books, and they have what is by far the best bop that Marvel has ever come up with that little fucking jingle. It was Agatha all along. That whole ending sequence, I loved that sequence so much, and like the whole, like, Katherine Heigl was so perfect for that role.
She's good
where
for
she's
that
like,
role.
and I killed Sparky too, and like winks, she killed the kid's dog. It was just like, it was so much fan service, but honestly, like, I thought it was perfect. I really liked the whole reveal with her.
That was good, and I'll tell you, before that, I kept thinking, like, the problem that I was seeing with the show before that reveal is, like, there's no real bad. Like, you're gonna tell me that Wanda is actually just the main antagonist this entire show.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I thought they were gonna do.
She's our main character, but she's also the main antagonist. If it's not for her, no one has problems right now. She's just selfishly holding a whole town hostage. And the FBI guy, who is kind of a jerk, it's like, he's not really that much of a bad guy, because, you know, at the end of the day, he's not the one. He's got a good point.
There's like thousands of people being enslaved against their will.
And she stole government property.
Yeah, she busted in there, stole the vision, and it's like, I was like, you can't make him the bad guy because he's not wrong, and you can't make Wanda the bad guy because she's supposed to be the main protagonist.
Yeah.
So I was getting very confused, but I'm glad that they made that twist where she's been pulling the strings.
Yeah, she had been pulling it. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really cool. Then you get to see like the Scarlet Witch trial thing, which apparently was foreshadowed in the very first episode when she says that her anniversary with her husband, it was on the date of the Salem witch trials.
Huh. I didn't catch that.
Okay, well, this also brings up another point. So up until this point, Wanda just has been going about thinking, I'm a mutant, right? Like my brother.
Yeah, she's.
Is she not a mutant? Now she's the
So
Scarlet Witch? Is she always been destined to be a witch?
I actually looked this up to try to understand it, because I was like, Agatha, she must be a comic book character. And basically, there are witches. I don't know necessarily that they are variants of mutants, but there are witches in the world, and the Scarlet Witch is special in the comics, not necessarily for being like the chaos demon or whatever, like she is in the show, but specifically because she is I forget what it's called, but basically in terms of multiverses, she is always the same, which is an interesting thing. There's like a few characters where no matter what multiverse you're in, that's always the same person.
Okay. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I was under the impression that both her and her brother, Kick-Ass, are mutants. Just imagine. I just want to see. I want to see Kick-Ass in the MCU now.
I think they are actually mutants
with his baton.
Still, I think that, but like Agatha,
they're
Harkness,
like, they got their powers from Loki's staff, which they show in the show.
But she was a witch prior to that.
Okay, that wasn't even made clear to me at all.
Well, Agatha in the second to last episode, when they're doing like the retrospective on Wanda's whole life, Agatha posits like, wow, it's really strange how you and your brother were just hiding here and looking at that bomb, and somehow it just never went off for 2 whole days, and nobody was doing that, were they? Definitely not the witch that was hiding right here just trying to keep her brother safe. And like basically implied that the reason the bomb didn't go off was not because it was a dud, but actually because Wanda was using her witch powers to stop it.
See, but I feel like they didn't make that very clear, because I actually thought the whole point of the bomb being a dud was just to add to the emotional impact of like these poor terrified children spent 2 whole days under the table waiting to die, and it turns out it was a dud the whole time, and they didn't know that, so they spent 2 days under the table. Like, I thought that was just supposed to be an emotional impact. I didn't realize
it's both.
It's
both.
it's because she actually has been a witch this whole time and stopped the bomb.
It was an emotional
completely.
It was an emotional impact in Age of Ultron, but then they repurposed it in this show to also include, like, I don't think Wanda recognized that she was using her powers to stop the bomb because she was a little kid.
Yeah, Liz is saying
Agatha
that
implies.
Yeah, they're not following the mutant script in this one. She's just Scarlet Witch, which I wonder if they did that. I wonder if they had plans to do that, and that's why they kind of did it in Age of Ultron, because they didn't have Fox yet, so they couldn't call her a mutant. So they instead sort of reworked her origin story to get powers from the staff, you know. But now that they have Fox, they can kind of play with that idea where she actually is a mutant. She was born with these powers.
And it's a total retcon because her staff powers, basically the staff gave her more powers than she the Mind Stone specifically amplified her powers significantly. That's why she's so much stronger than Agatha. And Agatha's like,
that's why Agatha is in awe of her power. She's like,
that's why they're going back in time to look through shit anyways, because Agatha's like, how the fuck are you so strong? Like, I spent my entire life becoming Sorceress Supreme, and here you are fucking around taking a whole town hostage.
You don't even know spells.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even spell, bro.
That's Agatha's whole motivation is that she wants to like absorb the power of all witches, and she thought she had done that, become the Sorceress Supreme, and then she just like finds Wanda, who's like the Scarlet, like she's like clearly got witch powers. I'm sure Agatha saw her on the news and was like, that bitch is using witch powers. I have witch powers. And this whole thing,
take them powers.
Yeah, I think that's how this whole thing was orchestrated. Was Agatha, at the very least, was like, I want to like steal her powers because I know how to steal witch powers, and she's clearly way stronger than any witch I've ever seen before.
Okay, and so it's the combined strength of her Mind Stone abilities from the staff, from Loki's staff, and the fact that apparently she has been a witch this whole time. That's why she is so powerful. And this is what makes her the Scarlet Witch?
No, what makes her the Scarlet Witch is that there was a prophecy in the dark book or whatever that there was well, here's the thing though. It goes deep. I know. Here's the thing though. So the book says there will be a witch who becomes more powerful than all other witches that will bring about the doom of humanity. And she uses red powers or whatever. And so I think it's actually
I like green powers myself.
Right. I think anybody could have been the Scarlet Witch if they were a witch girl that grew up and then was like imbued with the powers of the Mind Stone. I think that's actually how she became the Scarlet Witch, was because of the Mind Stone.
And now she has become
so they're not separate things. It's like if Agnes was kidnapped as a child and imbibed with the power of the Mind Stone, it'd be like Harry Potter, right? It's like it could have been Neville or Harry. It didn't really matter. I think it's the same thing. It's like the Mind Stone is what made her the Scarlet Witch because it made her so powerful and also gave her the Red Witch magic.
Ooh, okay. So Liz says that being able to warp reality is kind of what did it. So it warped reality and made her stronger, basically. It warped her reality. So I think.
Okay.
But she also has a point too. They couldn't include Magneto because I think in the comics, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were actually raised by Magneto.
Yeah. Magneto's their dad, just straight up.
Like straight up their dad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they couldn't do that and then explain that. So they're like, Sokovia. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think they'll figure out a way to kind of retcon and make stuff work. They're clearly very capable of figuring out how to do this stuff in a way that's satisfying.
True.
Yeah, you're right. So I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention or whatever, but it's like I need to go to school basically
Marvel
via
school.
Ben Nickerson's School of Marvel Lore to really
Wikipedia,
understand.
It's just Wikipedia.
No. Ben Nickerson School. I don't care about Wikipedia.
That's right. It's all me, baby.
It's all you. Anyway, okay, maybe I just need to do the Wikipedia search. I'm too lazy to do that. I'll just keep asking you. But that's interesting. Okay, so that gives me a little bit more of an understanding. I feel like that stuff was not explained very well in the show.
The reason that I even know as much as I
you
do,
didn't
and
pick that up
I
just from
probably
watching
have
it.
stuff
You read the
wrong.
Wikipedia.
Well, I looked up some stuff and then I paid a lot closer attention to trying to figure that stuff out because it doesn't. You're right. It is actually kind of hard to follow, and the only reason that I have answers is because I found myself asking, "The fuck is Agatha doing? Why is she here?
Yeah.
She's not the one that did this." Like at first, I was like, "Oh, Agatha's the one that did this."
That's what I thought.
And then I was like, "Oh, Agatha's not the one that did this. It was actually just Wanda doing this." And then I was like, okay, so why? What does Agatha want? And then it's like, oh, she wants to like absorb her powers, I guess. And then it's like, from there. And then there's the scene where she like opens the book, the grimoire. And she's like, it's a black grimoire, which implies that there's like other grimoires, which I'm sure you get the 5 grimoires and you snap your fingers and suddenly Westview becomes a porn shop or something. But bend reality.
Now that is a plot twist.
There you go.
I'm surprised they didn't do any. Never mind. So,
Are you surprised that Disney Plus didn't do anything like that?
Well, I don't like they took inspiration from so many sitcoms. You'd think they'd take one from like a porno, but
You would think.
Yeah, as you
Vision
do.
walks up with a pizza and Wanda answers the door and she's like, "Give me a slice of that
Sausage.
Yeah.
A nice wah guitar.
But yeah, I think the ending. Well, actually, the last episode specifically, where it's basically just a big fight scene with the witches flying and then the Visions flying. I guess at the end of episode 8, the big reveal is that there's a white Vision who has been reconstructed from like the old Vision's body.
Yeah, they
I mean,
found
it's
a
the
way to
same
power
Vision.
him. Yeah, same
They
exact
just-
Vision,
they
but
just
he's more of a
fixed him.
weapon. Yeah, and they're able to power him themselves as opposed to the Mind Stone powering.
What did they said
Right.
something specifically? They're like, yeah, we figured out how to like do this to power him.
I don't know, but it looked a lot like an arc reactor. Maybe not the
maybe
actual
like-
energy, but that little crystal that he has in his head is the same blue as an arc reactor. So I wonder
Yeah,
if there
maybe
is
that
some
wouldn't
Stark
surprise
tech
me.
that's being used
Tony's-
for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was definitely human tech that was being used.
Yeah.
Can we take a quick aside here to talk about
Take it.
the implications of Tony's tech? Because I think this is it is hilarious to me constantly that Tony has figured out how to make endless energy, and yet
And it's
like
this big.
and it's tiny,
Yeah.
and he also has nanotechnology and all this shit, but like New York still looks exactly like New York. Like there's no flying cars. Like people
Mhm.
clearly still have electricity bills. Like nothing in humanity has changed at all as a result of these insane technological discoveries.
Arc reactor ain't cheap, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
You have to pay the big bucks to get stuff like that.
It makes
You
me
know?
think that Tony Stark is like withholding this technology is like proprietary. He's like, oh, I patented it. I'm not gonna help anybody.
I mean, honestly, that actually is not a bad theory, to be honest, because his whole thing after the first Iron Man movie is like, I don't want people using my crap anymore.
I know,
They
but
see
he's
I
like,
see what people do and they use my
He's
stuff.
Wakandaing himself, but it's very, very tight.
he's like,
Yeah.
I want to build a suit around the world, but also I'm not.
But also,
going to
screw your
solve
old school
child
apartment
hunger.
buildings and your gas-powered cars.
Yeah, I'm not gonna attempt to solve climate change. I'm not gonna
Nope.
I'm not gonna solve world hunger. I'm not gonna like donate to warring nations. Like fuck Sokovia. I'm just gonna send my robot things down there to like tell
The
them to
Robo
calm down.
Police.
Yeah, all this bullshit that he could easily cure so many of the world's problems with this
He
technology.
did solve time travel in like 10 minutes.
That's true.
What an asshole!
And he was just sitting around for 5 years,
He
having
just
a
was like,
family.
I guess I'll give this a crack.
I love this that fucking scene in Endgame kills me where I know it's a Marvel movie, but he's like looking at the holographic projector and he's like, put it into Mobius mode. And it does like a little Mobius strip and he's like, oh my god.
There you go.
He's like, that's it.
Time.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good point.
It's like if you take a strip of paper and you twist it, you connect it. Does the paper have one side or two sides? I gotta show Ant-Man.
I'm so over that trope where well, how do you explain different dimensions or time travel? Fold a piece of paper and then the pencil through it. Like Do we need to explain anything anymore? Just have it happen.
No. Someone will just figure it out.
I'm over it. I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Yeah. Also, we haven't talked about it going back to the show, but because I guess it doesn't really matter that much, but the whole subplot back in the real world with the FBI guy and Monica and the funny not Jim guy.
No, what's that girl's name? What's Glasses girl?
I can't remember her character's
Glasses
name.
girl.
Bridget or something. She's in the first Thor movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's like buddy with Natalie Portman, and I actually really like her character.
Darcy.
Thank
you.
Darcy.
There you go.
I love Darcy's character. It was a joy to watch her on screen. That actress just like she tickles something to me where I'm like, you fucking weird Zoe Deschanel discount. You're funny.
Okay. I like Kat Dennings. I think she's great.
It's Kat Dennings. Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet. It's
she's so charming. I mean, it's a very specific trope that she is filling. Marvel Universe.
I'm completely with you.
I'm fine with it. I mean, she plays Kat Dennings. I mean, watch Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I mean, I think she only has she's opposite Michael Cera.
Oh man, I gotta watch.
So if you like that kind of character, that's basically who Kat Dennings plays.
She was incredibly charming. I thought
she is, and her and Fake Jim are really funny together. What's his name? John something?
Jimmy Park.
Wait, you're talking about
Jimmy
Fake
Park.
Jim is the. I thought it was Lou.
No,
whatever.
Wu is the name of the agent in the as a character, but the actor's name is Jimmy Park.
Oh,
Jimmy Park.
Okay, Woo. Yeah,
they're funny together. I like them a lot. I saw a meme where it's like the Drake meme. You know, it's like the this and then whatever, and it's like
it definitely wasn't Jimmy Park. I don't know who that actor's name is.
Her and Natalie Portman, like their chemistry is like, and then her and Fake Jim is like, no, they're really good together.
No, they're fantastic because they're both like comic relief characters to a certain extent, and they play off each other really well. Where they're both they're goofy in very different ways, but like, I also love that he fucking figured out close-up magic. Like that's such a throwaway joke from Ant-Man. Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's just like, how did you do that? He's close-up magic, man. I've been quarantined this whole time. And then, and like at the very end of it, you see he's like fucking with the cards, and he's like, "Gah." And then he comes back in this, and he's like, he's like, you bitch, Woo, you've been practicing this whole time.
Yep.
You sly dog.
God, things like that are what's really special about Marvel. The really cute little things that like mean nothing, but like just show an extra layer of polish.
And then also being able to interconnect all their movies. I mean, Deadpool does it constantly in its own movie, but I love when you've seen Deadpool 2. Have you seen any of the Deadpool movies yet, Ben?
I've seen the first one only.
Okay, you should watch the second one. It's great. But there's a scene where you have Cable and he's being played by
Josh
Brolin. And so there's a scene at the very end where he points out some inaccuracy or something like that, and Deadpool's like, "Zip it, Thanos," and like ties the entire universe together. It's so great that he like calls out the same actor for playing two different characters in the same universe. So good. I love that.
That is
stuff.
Great. Yeah, actually,
and you can only do that if you have a giant web that Marvel's created. You know, you can't just like throw that out there and it's like, you know, it wouldn't make sense. It's like if DCEU was doing that, you know, it's like it wouldn't have the same impact because there's not as many movies, you know, not as many.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
To come back
and that's
to,
a big problem with the DCU is that they were extremely impatient with it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we can do this. Nope.
And they have fucking like, I'm sorry, Zack Snyder, like your style is really good, but the substance is just non-existence. It's like it's so stylistic and there's just no substance whatsoever, and I think that is your biggest problem. Find somebody that knows how to write a good movie and then use their script, because like everything you're doing is fucking garbage. I'm sorry, it's bad. Stop.
I mean, that's a bit harsh. I don't know about that. I think that you're right. It's style over substance for sure. I think he can write a good movie. I think he can. Well, you know what? Never mind, actually, because I was gonna say that the best movies are adaptations of other
True.
stuff.
Watchmen was great,
His
but that
best
was an
stuff is,
adaptation. 300.
300 is an
Watchmen is,
adaptation.
and
Is
I'm
also
not.
an
I'm not
adaptation.
saying that I'm
So
not a
never
fan
mind.
of Zack
Actually, I
Snyder.
agree.
I think he has like obviously he's a fucking really talented director, and if he fucking ever saw this video, he'd just be like, "Well, fuck you. Who cares?" But no, in reality, if you could honestly, if I could give you one piece of feedback, Mr. Schneider, it would be to just stop trying to like write shit. Just take other people's work and
direct
adapt it. You're good at that.
someone
You're good at
else's
making
script.
things look cool, but things aren't cool if there's no substance, which is why your movies are failing. Anyways,
Well, that's I was okay. Another thing I was gonna say is that whole thing about rushing these movies out, that wasn't his call. That's the
of course
Yeah,
not.
that's-
but-
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is trying to cash in. They see a big old cash cow with the
Yeah, there's a
expanded
million
universe
producers
thing
that
and-
have their
Like, well,
hands.
Marvel's
in-
doing it.
There
Just
was,
make
there
it
was a
happen.
there's a hard Schneider in there, Ben. Raisin, and he says he's only here for Daryl, but he spelled Daryl wrong. So I don't know what you want.
Guess
right?
you're not here for.
Yeah, I guess
the
you're not really
deal.
here for him because you don't
You're
care
here
about
for
spelling his name
Darrell.
correctly. So you're
I
here
know.
for Darrell, okay?
I texted my
Darrell.
aunt and it auto corrected her name incorrectly. So when I texted her, I
Good,
sent her name with the wrong spelling,
Ooh.
and I like looked at it later, and I was like, I don't even. This is awkward. Like,
Yeah,
I can't,
I-
what am I gonna do? Be like, I know your name's spelled with an I, not a Y.
I did that in one of my
You do
friends'
the asterisk with her
birthday
right name.
text.
Just asterisk right name.
I
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
this text 2 days
3 days
ago.
later.
It's way too
It's
late.
too
Yeah.
late. It's
No,
too
no,
late.
do it. It'll be fine. That'd be so funny. Just 2 days later.
She's already
You know
forgotten
what?
about
If
it, and then she
wasn't
just gets
about
this.
something serious, then I absolutely would. But it's
Oh.
too, yeah. I sent her. It was a very
That's even
serious
better.
message. That's why I'm so fucking embarrassed by it. Is because I sent her a very serious message about some shit that was going on,
Asterisk correct spelling after
and
that
then I
serious.
spelled
message.
her fucking name wrong because of autocorrect.
I messaged one of my friends happy birthday
Man.
and spelled her name wrong. Well, it autocorrected to a different version of her name.
Yeah, the auto.
Yeah,
dude,
and I
when
was
people,
just like-
man.
They ruined. Now I just seem like an asshole, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
fucking
well, you
autocorrect.
are. But
Thing
also,
is,
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
but I don't
wanna
want to
turn
seem
off-
like that. You know, I
I
want
don't
to
want to turn off autocorrect because I spell shit wrong all the time. and I
Yes,
knew
you
that
do.
before.
It doesn't correct your yours, and yours, and it doesn't correct
No.
your theirs, and theirs.
No, it
Your
still doesn't.
your
do
theirs
that.
are all over the place, man.
My theirs and my yours are all over the place. So imagine what kind of a wreck I would be if I didn't have autocorrect.
you're completely powerless. But speaking of powerless, the Vision on Vision fight I thought was much more interesting than the Wanda on Agatha fight.
It was weak sauce, man.
You thought it was weak sauce?
I thought it was
like,
weak sauce.
What about
Both
the
those fights
scene
were dumb.
where the White Vision is like he's holding Vision just like Thanos held him? He's like reaching to grab the Mind Stone, but then this time Vision does the thing that everybody thought Vision should have done in that scene, which was the phase through.
phase out?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
That was
cool.
a really cool moment because
might have been the
it was
coolest
Marvel
moment.
being like, okay, yes, fine, he could have done that, but like, shut the fuck up about it. And then B, it was just like a really badass moment.
Yeah. See, now in Deadpool 3, you can actually have that scene where Ant-Man goes into Thanos' butt and then expands.
That's gonna
Put that
be
in
an
the Deadpool.
amazing scene.
That's how they fix all this stuff.
That's
Oh my
great.
God. That's how they combine
Oh,
universes. Is
man.
Deadpool.
There you
Deadpool
go.
actually
You'll just
is the
have
one
him,
that-
just have him break the fourth wall and fix everything. He literally does that in the second movie at the end. Ben, you gotta watch
Sure
that one. It's
does.
great.
I'll watch the second movie.
I gotta say, I am sick and tired of the way that movies are doing laser fights because
That's what I'm talking
Superman has a huge problem with this too, and so does the Vision fight. If they're shooting lasers at each other, there's so many times where he's like flying. You know how quick it is to aim a laser, like move a laser around? You just go, and you're done. And there's so many times where it's like it's hitting the ground and he's getting away. It's hitting the ground, he gets away. You know, it's like you just have to move your head up, move your Mind Stone up, and laser that bitch. Do it. It's so frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
And there's other times where
Especially-
they're like
that's what I was
spot
saying
on with
about-
accuracy. They're like shooting lasers like directly at where they could have been, and he has to like phase through it. And there's other times where he's like dragging his entire fucking noggin across the screen. I was over it, dude.
But that's why I'm
Laser
saying it was
him.
very DC-ish.
Yeah.
The fight scenes are crazy amounts of CGI. I don't care about any of it. The Vision on Vision fight is better, for sure, than the Agatha Wanda one. But they're both just filled with tons of CGI, meaningless CGI. I like choreography. I'm a choreography guy. I kind of nerd out on that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I just see a bunch of like
Should've had-
lasers, laser on laser, And then there's always, this is another thing that they do all the time. They're always like straining themselves, like, who can shoot better lasers?
You should have just had
Like, I
Jackie
don't
Chan
know.
do the Vision fight. Have Jackie Chan as White Vision and regular Vision, and then just let him go.
And then there's gonna be like a ladder scene where Vision's got a ladder. He's
That would have
fighting
been way
off.
better.
That would have been fucking
Uh,
sick, dude.
No, they're
That'd
just
be pretty
sitting
funny.
there.
But okay, but the scene where they're in the library, you have to admit
On their face,
the
like
library, the library reveal to the White Vision was kind of cool, where Vision is like,
Where he like
for-
uses reason,
yeah, he like
just talks
it-
him
which,
out of it.
which is what Vision would do. At least comic
That is
book
cool.
Vision
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
would
So,
be like,
yeah,
hey.
laser. I don't know. I don't know if the laser's light, but it's a laser. It's shooting it out of his head. Lasers are lame. Thank you, Ray. I'm over it.
Lasers aren't
This is
lame.
why. I mean, you can throw someone into a building 1,000 times, but then I do like how they ended it with the logic and reasoning thing, which would make sense. Like if Vision was going to fight himself, he would probably just, either try to fuck up the
Yeah.
computer system in some way, like the computer in his head, or do something
Not
with like.
punch him in the face a bunch of
Yeah.
times. That's another
He-
thing. It's
he
like,
already knows
Vision's
his
supposed to be
limitations.
So smart. Why
Yeah,
is he
he-
duking it out with him like it's fucking Mike
he already,
Tyson's?
he already knows that he can phase through stuff,
You
so
know?
it's like, what's the point?
well, the really
Why are they
funny
even
thing.
having-
They're
this is-
robots. You can't hurt each other if you're a
Stupid.
robot.
But
It's
this
like-
is the real fucking the
Duke it
real
out.
icing on the cake. If you want to dig into this, because this is clearly a plot hole, is that there's no reason for White Vision to attack this Vision. There's zero
He
reason.
says he has to
for it
kill
at
the
all.
real.
He
doesn't
has
know
to
he's not
kill
the real Vision.
Vision. No, he has to kill the Vision. But why? The military
programmed.
or the government got the Vision back. Just ship him back to the compound and deal with Wanda some other way. That Vision's not real, just like the kids. It's not a real Vision.
That's a really
He's
good
fighting
point.
a mirage.
That's a really good point. Why is his only directive to fight a memory?
He's
But
literally
do they
a
know that? Because
mirage.
who gave him that? Do the people who gave that Vision the directive? Do they know that Vision is just a memory? Do they know that?
Yeah, because they smuggled out the body of the old Vision.
But they don't know if she. You know what? Actually, no. Jeremy's got a point. I think. Isn't there a scene where they think that Wanda was able to bring him back? They don't think that he's a memory. They think that she brought the body back and was able to bring him back to life.
In any case,
makes
even if
sense.
they know they have the original Vision body, they're probably his whole thing is like, we don't want you walking around with like a multi-billion-dollar weapon or whatever. So it's like they would rather it be destroyed. They don't
Right,
know
by
them.
sending it to attack something that has the exact same specifications, because two things with the exact same specs that are both computers
Always
are
works
going-
out.
Yeah.
Really,
I
Yours
keep
is
laughing
always
at
going to be
this.
better somehow.
Ray says if I was fighting myself, I'd kiss myself to really throw me off. That would have been great in the fight, the Vision versus Vision
If they
fight. If he was
kissed-
just like, I'm not a robot anymore. I'll just kiss this guy and see what he does.
What if that was the scene? What if instead of Vision being able to touch people's heads, he had to give them a little smooch? So, there's that scene. I request clarification, and the other Vision is like, okay,
I'll give
may
you
I?
clarification.
And he's just,
Just a little
give him a little smooch.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's all clear to me now.
So White Vision just
yeah.
kind of like fucks off, right? He just busts through the skylight and just leaves.
He does. He's like, I'm the
Oh,
real
no.
Vision, and then he fucking leaves. Yeah. And then
Sure, we'll see them. I'm sure
We'll
we'll
see
see
him
that guy
again.
again.
I mean,
somewhere.
yeah. I mean, they're good at
I
time.
did.
Bring him back.
And then everything resolves. Darcy crashes into the bad FBI guy. Agatha gets outruined. And then
That was dumb too. Hold on, that doesn't make any sense. So if Wanda literally cannot use any of her magic whatsoever in that rune room, how come Agatha can use a bunch of her magic in the rune hex?
it wasn't a rune hex until Wanda turned it into a rune hex.
She did turn it into a rune hex, but isn't she literally drawing the power out of Wanda, or at least her magic is there and it's present.
Absorbing.
It's trying to do something, you know?
For
I don't know. I wasn't buying the
little-
rules behind that.
Well, I mean, as soon as the rune magic was finished, that's when suddenly everything got reversed and Agatha got outplayed. Wanda was basically like, like, I will shoot you with all of my energy, but all these shots that are missing, they're activating runes on the walls. And then,
at the very end, like the runes, like the final rune gets activated, and then like as soon as that happens, the only thing that was weird to me was that the reversal happens and Agatha is still somehow flying. But I just wrote it off as Wanda was actually the one that didn't want her to fall to her death.
Yeah,
so,
and also everyone has to have all their conversations in the air while flying. Did you
notice another
that?
DC?
You notice
another
that?
DC move.
Yeah, it's another DC-ism. Like even when Vision is talking down White Vision, they're still just circling each other in the air. Like you don't need to be flying all the damn time. Like we can't have a sit down.
Hey, if you could fly, would you just fly all the time? I would be flying right now.
It depends on how much energy
I would fly
it
to have every conversation.
If flying was like running, there's no way I would fly.
Well, that's a good point too. But everything has to be done while flying. This is a DC thing as well. Like you can't just, touch. You can't just walk. That's too normal, I guess. We just can't have people standing around like assholes having regular.
Yeah, the ending.
Look at these assholes.
Look at these assholes.
You can fly and you're talking on the ground.
They're having a conversation on the ground.
Get up in the air. Fuck off.
But so that stuff, I agree. The fight scene at the very end was a bit weak, but the very end where Wanda is obviously going to be arrested by the FBI for taking a town hostage, and she fucks off to the Himalayas or whatever, and she's hanging out in I think it's actually like Yellowstone. But
okay.
she's in that little cabin.
Abominable.
And you see her like walking around, but then in reality, that's just like an astral projection while she's doing the Doctor Strange thing.
Oh, is she
I thought
really?
that was that's the exact same thing that Doctor Strange did when he was reading all his books in the first movie.
Right, and there's some kind of tie-in to Doctor Strange, right? That's coming up with the show.
Multiverse of Madness is supposed to be
supposed to address
a direct result of this miniseries, as far as I understand.
Right.
Oh,
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, because I mean, what Wanda's doing is real magic, and what Doctor Strange does is also real magic and real for the Marvel universe. It's
they're both. Yeah, I mean, Wanda must have some brand of Wanda must have some brand of magic that Doctor Strange can understand, right? I mean,
well, Liz, you said that it's not the same thing. What were you talking about?
Are you talking about her reading her grimoire? I mean, it's just she's
reading the runes.
She's sitting in the exact same position that Doctor Strange was sitting in when he was studying his magic.
No, this is earlier. I think this is when we were talking about the runes.
Oh, so, I don't know.
The trap card.
The trap card. Yeah, I thought that was. Oh, you know what? Though we didn't talk about the real Scarlet Witch outfit that just kind of like appears. I don't know why it appered, but it was fucking cool looking.
It does look cool.
That like
it does look cool.
Thing, the hologram thing.
Yeah,
and the two of them look when she has like her proper Scarlet Witch, attire, and she's standing next to Vision in his like regular Vision outfit. It's like, ooh, you guys, good looking couple right there. I always thought Scarlet Witch's uniform was dumb because it's just a leather jacket, like.
That was pretty cool. I liked it. It was like a duster.
Like,
it was just
what,
like
Tony can't make her a fucking suit to use?
Yeah, you can't have like some kind of awesome superpower suit. You're just gonna fight in a letter jacket. Like
that's pretty bad.
Just go to J. Crew and I'll be Scarlet Witch too. That's all it takes. And magical powers, I guess. But whatever,
It's just like the. But for a second, though, have you guys seen? There's a Pro ZD skit where he's talking about Marvel movies and how they like write villains, and it's the premise is just like, okay, I need you to help me come up with a new Marvel villain. He's like, well, I don't know, how about nuance, intrigue, like motivations that make sense. And somebody else in the room is like, what if like they're the same but bad? the new Hulk movie, the villain, he's like the Hulk, but he's real mean. He's a bad guy.
I have seen this.
It's so good. And then they did the same fucking thing with this. You thought you could get away with it, but Agatha Harkness is just the fucking Scarlet Witch, but evil. God damn it.
Yeah.
That was like the
thing. They gotta have their witch off.
Yeah, that was like everybody's arch enemy, right? Was like, it's just the evil version of themselves. It was Nega Superman and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I just rewatched I just rewatched Teen Titans recently, and that's basically like the
Red X.
not Red X, actually, like towards the very end of the series, they basically like this is how the show ends, is like when they fight Trigon, he just makes evil versions of all of them.
Yeah, literally.
And then they just have to fight the evil versions of themselves. And in that was actually really clever. They're like, oh, well, we're not going to get anywhere just fighting ourselves, right? So we should all switch partners. And so then Cyborg starts fighting evil, Starfire or whatever. I thought they would do that in this too. Like Vision would start fighting Agatha or something, because that would like.
That would have been a clever
so
that would have made sense.
Yeah, but Teen Titans is too good for us, man. Like that's just that show is.
Yeah, that's right.
Is the salt of the earth.
2005.
Fucking
logic.
Terra. Oh god, dude. Terra was my first crush. I think probably was definitely
it was legitimately heartbreaking.
I loved that character.
Did she die or did she betray them?
Yeah.
She died. Okay.
And then they bring her back in the very last episode, only to like reject Beast Boy, and that is literally the last episode. Nothing. She's just like, Beast Boy, sometimes you just gotta let things go. Last episode of Teen Titans ever.
Yep.
She wasn't talking to Beast Boy. She was talking to me.
So Liz says, hey, the other end credit scene with Monica and a scroll plus Nick
I was
Fury.
going to mention that.
But she says Nick Fury. So
Nick
I don't
Fury?
know. That's a computer version.
I bet you autocorrect got you.
I'm sure I can find some Nick Fury stuff on Rule34.com or whatever.
Probably.
You could probably find a furry named Nick, too.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of those. But actually there was two. The second one was Scarlet Witch in the Himalayas. What was the first one?
The first one I think was that scroll.
Yeah, I actually turned everything off before I saw those.
Oh, you didn't watch the ending things? There was like 12 minutes of the show left when the credits started rolling.
I was
like, yeah, that's what I was like, okay, there's like probably going to be a few of these. The scroll one was like, again, I think I watched Captain Marvel once. It's definitely, I think it's one of the weaker Marvel movies by far.
I think a lot of people are not a fan of Brie Larson's performance in that one.
Really?
It's not even Brie Larson's performance that too is not great, but the movie overall, it's just kind of boring. It's like, it's a very blasé.
I think,
and Brie Larson, I don't think she's the worst part of the movie. I didn't like her in it, but I don't think it just was boring.
So we're really gonna say we're really gonna say that that's how Nick Fury lost his eyes, because a demon cat scratched it out.
Yeah,
that's literally what happens, right?
How lame.
That's what they say canon. For the MCU. No, no,
that's canon.
I didn't like that.
One more reason.
I guess we'll call you Han Solo. That fucking
yeah, that's pretty bad too, actually.
I took a class of Wookiee in college.
Thanks, Disney. Disney's just ruining it. They get.
I don't know. Yeah, they
get Marvel, they ruin it.
They're doing all right with Marvel.
Not ruin everything.
Clearly doing a perfectly good job.
They're doing all right with Marvel, I will say.
But there are some very
scroll
weak
thing.
movies, yeah.
So what is the lady scroll? Who's she referring to? She's like, he wants to see you up there. Who's he?
Galactus.
Galactus?
No.
As the scrolls, who are they referring to?
I didn't even watch the scenes.
Who is Monica supposed to be?
Liz.
Like what?
Tell us.
What character?
Monica, she's Photon.
She's from Captain Marvel.
She's kind of made up. She's not an actual comic book character.
So she's from the movie Captain Marvel.
From Captain Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, she's the little girl. Who her mother was friends with Captain Marvel. Remember?
See, this is how forgettable that movie is. You didn't even realize.
I didn't watch Captain Marvel. I've heard that it was bad. So
okay.
I think I watched one of those YouTube videos that's like everything wrong with Captain Marvel. And then it was just like, wow, that is a stupid movie.
Did you watch the Mahler one where he's just?
I think that's what it was. Yeah. Might have been Mahler. That was just
I thought the movie was fine. I thought it was definitely one of the weaker ones. I had no problem with the movie, but I have a problem with Captain Marvel. She's just like super powerful just because. It's their MacGuffin basically. The MCU's MacGuffin is Captain Marvel in a way. So
And then you're always thinking to
Well,
yourself,
Deus
if
Ex
she's
Machina, right?
this badass, why isn't she just solving all of the problems on Earth? And then their only
Because she
excuse in
has to
Avengers
get
is like,
a haircut, dude.
yeah, she's gotta get a haircut, and she's busy. She is balancing, the 7 other galaxies.
I
or
do
whatever.
love
She's
that. Earth
saving-
isn't the only planet.
Earth,
It's like
yeah, it's like you guys
clearly
think
you're
you're
a
so
human.
the
special.
writers fucking jerked each other off in the room together when they came up with that line. They're like, yeah, this is really gonna get him.
Yeah. Oh, you guys think that you're the only. It's like, well, okay, I guess just fuck us.
yeah, let us
then,
all
but-
die then.
Or
Everything
race traitor,
happens to
or
us.
not
yeah.
race traitor,
I mean, I guess the guy that
human
destroyed
trader?
all life in
Species
the
trader?
universe, or at least
Species
half of
trader.
all
That's
life.
what I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
Species
Species
trader.
trader. You're just
Mhm.
gonna let us get fucked up by Thanos.
Thanos deleted half of all life in the
And
fucking
where were
universe.
you?
Not
Brie
just
Larson?
not just on Earth.
Nowhere to be
Thanos
found.
is a universe villain. He fucking killed so many
Yeah.
people. And she's like, I don't have time for your petty squabbles.
I gotta go.
It
deal
literally
with
ends
this.
half of the population in existence.
Not
Love
worth
it.
your time. Not
Mhm.
worth your
Not
time.
worth
Yeah,
my
no.
time.
You
I've
clearly
got
have better places to
I've
be.
got an AA meeting on Omega Fon 3 that I've got to attend, Captain America. So don't you talk to me about everything that I need to do on your planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking- I don't know, man. It's pretty
Anyway,
dumb.
so what's going on with that? Who is the scroll referring to? Why does Monica need to go to space?
Well, okay, you guys have to catch up on this because I don't know anything about it. But Liz said, "Well, I didn't see the scene, so I don't know what she's talking about." But
You were
Liz
just-
says,
the way you started that
Nick.
sounded like you had information.
"I have no information. I have text right here that I'm gonna read to you guys." So Liz says, "Nick, 3 exclamation points. Nick is in space. Remember from the new Spider-Man." Oh, I also didn't watch that
Oh,
though.
yeah.
And
he's
the
like
squirrel
in,
is pretending to be him.
That's right.
Wait,
I
what?
remember this now. Nick Fury is in space.
He is?
Why is he
in space?
I don't know. But
You'd
I
have
remember,
to
I
watch
remember that end credit scene
Far
where
From Home.
the whole reveal is like Nick Fury in Far
Oh,
From
I
Home
haven't
has actually
seen
just
Far
been
From Home either.
Oh well,
Never mind.
spoiler. Nick Fury in Far From Home
in
is not Nick
space.
Fury at all.
Oh,
The Nick
it's,
Fury that you see is a scroll.
Hmm.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
For-
And that's the reveal
Oh.
is that Nick Fury gets on a phone conversation or like a FaceTime conversation and he ends it and then it pans out slowly and you see that he's actually in a giant spaceship and he hasn't been on Earth this whole time.
Wait, Liz says he's on vacation.
Yes.
He's on
Yeah.
he's on vacation.
But that's so he chose to go on vacation on the spaceship? Is that what the deal
As a
is?
scroll. So is Nick Fury
Yes.
just like, has Nick Fury been a scroll this entire time? Or is that
Yeah,
No,
but
I
like how
think-
long? How long? Has he
Oh,
been a
I
Squirrel?
don't know. I don't know how long. Certainly the whole duration of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay, that's for
maybe
sure.
more.
And maybe,
Oh, well,
maybe
so they're
more.
just, so this Monica thing, they're basically just tying up a loose end they created in Far From Home. I'm fine with that. They're saying, hey, we're going to get to this. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, yeah, like they're setting it up for, yeah.
So
that
he's
makes-
sent
that's-
a-
I'm perfectly
sent a
fine with that.
Scroll buddy down to
They're
Earth.
like, yeah, they're like,
take
we set
Monica
this
up.
up in Spider-Man, and now they're saying, hey, we know, we'll get to it, and like the audience is like, okay, because there's some
We'll
fucking,
just-
there's some asshole sitting in his basement who's fucking
about
messaging Marvel every day. Nick Fury,
Yeah.
you always just scroll, and they're just like, all right, look, we're
We'll
getting
get to
to
you.
it, guy. Jesus, we have
We'll
a lot
fit
of
you into
movies.
one of the three last end
Wait for
credit
that
scenes.
series. You'll get caught up. But
Also, Monica has powers.
yeah,
I mean, she seemed to
She's
get
got
powers
power
from Wanda because her
from-
her
possibly-
going in and out like kind of discombobulated
Secondhand.
her or something.
She can like
Oh,
stop inertia or something like that. It didn't look
powers.
like she was like slow motioning things, but she was stopping those bullets.
I thought she like absorbed the bullets or something. Am I
Yeah,
misremembering that?
yeah, she like de-inertianizes things.
Yeah, that was
She just kind of
weird.
like pooped them out.
And then everybody was like, all the soldiers were like, "What?" And then they all get frozen by Mindo Kid.
Yeah.
That
So
was an interesting
that's
thing.
a thing. Monica has powers now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when your atoms get all discombobulated from going in and out of sitcom land.
Mm-hmm. The Hex, as it's called.
The
So-
heck.
oh, the Hex.
The
That's actually a
Hex.
cool name. That's a cooler name than it
Mhm.
deserves.
It's all right.
That is pretty good.
Well, because it's Danon, because it's a hexagon, but also because witches hex you.
See, I'm dumb and I forget geometry, so I thought it was a pentagon. So I was like, why are they calling it? Why don't they call it the pent?
Wow, and I'm out here thinking it was a sphere.
It has flat sides, Jeremy. It's literally got walls.
Like, this kind of reminds me of those. What are those things in Egypt? The pyramids. Yeah, why don't they call it the pier?
Pier?
But well, you understand that that it's a hex is also what a witch does to people. It's a double entendre.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a hex and it's a hexagon.
Yeah.
Okay, it's clever.
That's funny.
It's way cooler than it deserves.
Wait, is Photon in the comics? I couldn't find anything on Photon in the comics.
Who's
I thought she
Photon?
was made up for the TV show,
Photon.
which I thought was pretty bold, seeing as there's a whole pantheon of characters that they can choose from to just.
She
throw on
is
wherever.
definitely in the comics.
She is,
Literally,
okay.
you could have just typed in Photon Marvel and found her in less than a second.
I only search on Wikipedia, so if Wikipedia doesn't give it to me, then it's not real.
That's the stupidest thing
That's
I've
how you
ever
should
heard.
go about life.
You should
That's
if
as
you're
far
gonna
as I go
only
for
search
research.
somewhere, only search on Google.
No.
If you're gonna choose one search
Oh.
platform, why would it be Wikipedia?
Because I want something where none of the information is reliable because anybody can edit it.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That's okay. First of all, you could just type in your Google search and then cite Wikipedia.
I don't like doing Boolean searches, man. Don't bring punctuation into my search engine.
It's
Don't need that crap.
better than it's literally $1 billion company
Wikipedia.
that focuses almost entirely on its search.
I can't donate to Google. I can donate to Wikipedia. You know
You can
something's going
still
on there.
donate to Wikipedia if you look at the Wikipedia articles that you get on Google.
But if I just want to read the Wikipedia thing,
I want to use 100% of my donations, so I will only use Wikipedia. That's why I don't use YouTube anymore, because I can't search it on Wikipedia. There's no links to YouTube on Wikipedia. Sorry.
sorry,
I type in
you gotta
YouTube and it
go.
just comes. Well, there is.
I just get the history on it.
Yeah, there is one link in the YouTube thing which takes you to a specific YouTube video, and that's it. And
There's
then
my
you-
in. There's my in.
That's
All right.
And
that's
now
how
I'm
you-
in.
That's how you
uh,
get.
that's
to-
how I have to go
YouTube.
every time. I
Finally,
want-
I've been
And then
waiting.
because you refuse to use the search bar on YouTube, you have to go through related or recommended videos
Exactly.
until you
I get
find the
there.
video that
related
you want.
articles.
It's like 7 movies to Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
but it's 1 billion YouTube videos to the one you want.
Have you seen that new YouTube video? Well, not yet, but I'm
getting there.
working on it. I'm
Yeah, I'm
Soon
getting
as
there.
someone writes a
recommended.
Wikipedia page about it and cites the link, then yeah.
That's why I subscribe to literally everything, so I can look at it all on my homepage and I can just click the arrow and just keep going past everything. 'Cause I've already subscribed, probably. This is all
God.
false.
So who's this guy that you said?
Photon? Photon is Monica. She is from Earth 616.
Oh, okay. So she's
okay.
gonna be an actual superhero now.
Yeah, history. Monica was born and raised in New Orleans. She was the daughter of Maria, a successful seamstress. Okay. Monica.
Important information.
Whoa.
She was a lieutenant
Tell me
in the
more.
Harbor Patrol. Fate came upon her one day when she gained superpowers after being bombarded by extra-dimensional energy produced by an energy disruptor weapon created by a criminal scientist.
Ooh, this
So
is
her-
a new way to get powers then. That's interesting.
Yeah, so basically extra-dimensional energy is what gave her the powers with the Monica stuff too, I guess. Or
Yeah,
with the Wanda
She might
stuff.
have had. Did she get powers in Captain? Like she could have gotten them in Captain Marvel. No, right? Because then why would she have the whole Atom thing happen?
Yeah, she was just a kid.
I don't
She
know.
was a human kid.
Oh, she was okay.
Yeah.
At some point in the comics, she is recruited by Black Panther to be part of an all-black team-up comprised of Luke Cage, Blade, Black Panther, and Brother
Blade.
Voodoo, all of whom are slated to appear in Marvel movies. So maybe they're.
I'm
Are they
stoked to
really?
see the
Yeah.
MCU version of Blade. That would be freaking sick.
Yeah.
I believe
Can't wait.
so. Well, I don't know about Doctor Voodoo, but I think I heard something about or Brother Voodoo. But I know that all the other ones are definitely already in Marvel or planned to be. So this seems like something that maybe they might be going for, which I'd be cool with. I like this kind of stuff.
That's
Another
That's cool.
team.
Actually, yeah. them
I'm,
just setting
if
up
it's
in
a
this-
team, I'm down. So that's I'm actually excited for what's it, the Ethereals? Is that the new one coming out?
Ethereals. What are they going to do about Black
Ethereals.
Panther?
Ethereals is like something that takes place a long time prior to everything else, right?
I
I
have
think that
no
they were
idea.
like the original defenders of Earth before humans were like advanced or something.
Yeah, these characters have been around for. They're like cosmic beings that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. So they've kind of been like the
so they've
defenders.
been around and been
Yeah, they've been around
successful,
for
but
a
they may
long
not
time.
actually.
They were
it's
they
not
were
gonna show
asleep.
them in the initial.
Yeah, they were being
I got
they
it.
were being slept somehow.
Slept
Now they're
on.
back. Yeah. So
Man,
Well,
I would
got
have been
Black
down
Panther.
for some like cosmic horror, like before humans were advanced, and there's like Cthulhu trying to destroy the planet, and the Ethereals had to figure out how to stop it.
that'd be
That
cool.
sounds fun.
That would be cool.
So
sounds like a cool romp.
Down for that.
we didn't discuss one important thing though. Is I think the coolest thing that this does to tie into the show WandaVision does to tie into the MCU was what happened to people when they got snapped, because they never answered that question. But you kind of just like come back to where you were before you got snapped.
Oh, the
5 years
very
later.
first, in
Yeah.
episode 4 when they introduced Monica as a real character, and she just like comes to in the hospital, and like everything is fucking chaos.
And people are everyone's coming back at the same time, which is I wish they touched on that a little bit more, because that's such an interesting idea.
That was
to
really
me,
interesting.
where half of the population just comes back, but they've lost 5 years. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
They touch on that in Far From Home too.
Do they? Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Far From Home
because-
yet, so.
Neither of you have seen Far From Home?
Mm-mm.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. That's actually kind of a big plot point in it, or semi big, because half of the high school is like they're like 19 years old or whatever. Half the high school's like way
Oh.
too old to be high schoolers, but they still have to finish their high school education. So like Peter Parker, we
Interesting.
could go on a field
Okay.
trip, right? So like that's a whole thing throughout the whole movie, is like all these kids that they knew in high school. A bunch of them are like supposed to
Older.
be way
5 years
older.
older.
The ones
Yeah.
that got snapped back,
Well, Peter is
like-
one of the ones that got snapped back. Him and
Yeah.
his chubby Asian friend, right?
Yeah,
Both of
exactly.
them.
So they get
Mhm.
snapped back, and then like all their friends are way older. And
What
they're,
about
like,
Mary? What about MJ? Is she older, or did she also get
No,
snapped?
I think she got snapped as well. That would be
Okay.
weird if she didn't.
What about who's the bully kid?
He gets
Uh,
snapped,
Flash Thompson.
or he doesn't get snapped.
He doesn't get snapped, so
Yeah,
he's
so
older.
he's older,
Yeah,
yeah.
Flash Thompson.
Yeah, Flash Thompson. So that's kind of they touch on that in that movie, because like half their classmates are like 5 years older than they're supposed to be.
Huh.
And
Okay, I do need to
that's
watch
cool.
that. I
Flash
just want to watch that
Thompson
movie.
Is supposed to become who in the Spider-Man universe?
Huh? What? Say it again.
Who?
think he's
Flash
Venom at some
Thompson.
point.
Is Flash Thompson Venom? I thought that was Eddie Brock.
Well,
No, I mean,
multiple
Flash
people
Thompson-
become Venom.
Yeah,
Oh,
Flash Thompson is Venom at one point, but he also
Yeah.
he becomes another superhero because he's like loves Spider-Man. He's like in love with him, and he like in the comics he actually starts like a Spider-Man fan club, and he's like the head of the Spider-Man fan club.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's pretty funny.
This is
So,
funny. Oh, he becomes Agent Venom.
That's right. Yeah, very like a government version of Venom. Venom.
Yeah,
huh,
so
okay.
he's that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wonder if Tom Hardy's going to make an appearance in the MCU now that they have. Don't
do they
have,
actually
they have
own
the
the
Sony rights now?
Spider-Man? I don't think so.
They didn't get the Sony.
No, I don't think they have another agreement now, which is why they're allowing Spider-Man in the MCU still. There's that little debate over it, and also why they're making another Spider-Man. They're making Spider-Man 3
right.
with Tom Holland.
yeah, which
Four.
is Spider-Man 3 is
no,
you're
you're
right,
3. Yeah,
well, it was Homecoming, Far From Home, and then the new one is
like Away from Home or something like that, or Going
It's
Home
not
again.
It's
It
not
has to do with
in
home.
the title.
I know it
It has to
something
do with home.
but
Yeah.
But they don't have rights to the other Spider-Man characters. Is that the deal?
I think
No
so.
Way Home. That's
No
the
Way Home.
newest one.
So
What's
that,
home
okay.
there for no reason?
Oh, by Sony Pictures.
See, I thought it was a joint, effort. These Spider-Man movies.
It looks
between
like
Sony and
Sony
Marvel.
is
So
yeah.
there's no reason they couldn't fit Venom into the picture if they wanted to.
Yeah, but
True.
Venom sucks.
Okay, look, the movie wasn't great, but
The
I mean,
character is fucking awesome.
I like the character, and I like Tom Hardy's Eddie
Oh,
Brock.
I do like.
Yeah.
You know what? I take it back. I do like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, put Tom Hardy and his version of Venom and his Eddie Brock into the Spider-Man universe would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
Well,
except that we already know that Venom was a loser on his planet.
but
kind
okay,
of-
but
Yeah,
Venom
that's
is.
dumb. Yeah, I
It
don't
does
like
take
that.
some of the sting out of how cool Venom is.
I don't care about that. Venom is a fucking awesome character.
I
He's
was like
such
you.
a cool
Something of a
villain.
dork. It's like, great.
Yeah, well, and also, yeah, whatever. I mean, that's kind of lame, but I'll forget about that.
I
Thanks
choose
for
to.
bringing it up. Actually, I had already
Yeah,
forgotten. about
well,
it.
trust me, I'm gonna make sure
Now I
that's
gotta
burned into your retinas.
forget.
Whenever Venom's trying to be cool, you're always gonna think in the back of your head, yeah, but he's actually a loser on his planet. So, like, should I even?
It's
care?
kind of irrelevant though, because we're not going to go to his planet.
Yeah, you can
I
still
I like
eat
the idea of
people's heads.
was Superman was also just like a fucking random baby from Krypton. Like,
It just happened to be
he's-
a superhero on Earth. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
like
was-
any Kryptonian would be.
hmm
Yeah, which means that like Superman could very easily have just been a fucking loser on his planet too.
Well, yeah, he probably would have grown up.
Well,
to
I
be
mean,
some kind of
Yeah, if Krypton didn't
scientist
explode.
like his dad or whatever,
Yeah,
like
But he got-
Kurt Russell,
Mhm.
not
he's
Kurt
still-
Russell, Russell Crowe.
Russell
Oh,
Crowe.
one of them. Yeah,
He
I always
gets,
get those two confused.
Yeah.
He gets his power from the sun. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's
So, is there anything else we want to talk
Sunman.
about?
Talked about the end credit scenes.
No, I think like we just got to go around and
Yeah.
say what we
well,
thought.
I'm actually really excited for the Phoenix and the Winter Soldier. What's the one? The Falcon and Winter
Falcon and
Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Okay,
Phoenix and
that
Winter
one. Okay.
Phoenix,
Yeah. I
Dark
remember the
Phoenix,
name.
and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix and the Summer
Peener.
Pacifist.
Dark
Phoenix.
Phoenix and
That one looks cool. I
Pacifist.
mean, I like both of those characters.
I didn't
and
watch
the
that
actors that
trailer.
play 'em.
I know there
Watch
was a
the
trailer
trailer.
for
Yeah,
it.
I'm not watching any trailers anymore. I'm done.
oh,
Disavowed.
you're on board with me.
I am so over trailers. I watch enough to like get into it, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch this. So
Yeah, if I'm not sure about something, I'll watch the first 30 seconds. But like,
Yeah.
otherwise, I don't want to fucking see any trailers.
Mhm.
Fuck
Yeah,
trailers.
I'm it.
They ruin
I'm
shit.
over it. So, but yeah, that comes out on the 19th actually, so in 10 days. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Marvel
I'm hyped for
is.
There's a
this
bunch
is
of
how
stuff
they're-
coming out on
this-
the 19th.
Mhm.
Well, this is how Disney Plus is keeping people subscribed to their service. Is they literally have the entire year mapped out of new content every
You can-
single week.
you can
there's
follow
supposed
like
to be
the
something
end date,
new.
you know, and then yeah, you can see where in like a couple of weeks another series is gonna start.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's very
Oh, just keep
obviously
it
a
going.
marketing thing because they want people to stay subscribed to Disney Plus, and they know that like no one's gonna cancel their subscription if they want to see Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it comes out in 2 weeks. It's like
Mhm.
okay, I guess I'll just keep my
Yeah,
subscription.
that's a good point.
So
But yeah,
yeah, all right.
I'm excited for that too. But I guess let's give our final thoughts on WandaVision.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll give it a 5. Not a huge fan of it. What I did not like was all of the sitcom stuff. Any sitcom, anything, at any point in the series, I was like, I'm literally only watching this to get to the real world stuff because that was interesting. And whenever they broke that wall into the sitcom era, like I really like that scene where that dude comes out of the sewer, you know, and he's in the
Oh,
beehive.
yeah.
That was just like creepy and unsettling. That was just really cool. But yeah, as soon as they go right back to the sitcom, I'm like, fuck, now I have to sit through all this bullshit to get to the good stuff again. I was just like, it was. I know that they were doing that specifically so you had these real world events going on that were like breaking up that, you know, the sitcom stuff. But I was like, and you wouldn't have the real world stuff going on if you didn't have the sitcom, and it wouldn't be as important. It wouldn't have all this weight to it.
And
But,
you
like,
wouldn't have the
sitcom stuff-
amazing the tension of the beekeeper scene wouldn't exist if
Exactly.
it wasn't for the sitcom.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have the
Right,
weirdness. You
yeah.
wouldn't have the helicopter that's colored, but everything else is not. But I hated the sitcom stuff. I hated it so much.
All of it? Because I hated
Especially-
some of it.
All of it.
Okay.
I didn't like the Malcolm in the Middle one. I
Oh.
really didn't like the Modern Family. I hate Modern Family. So when they had the Modern Family bit, I was like, no. Ugh. Like I like the nod to the Office theme for that episode. Like that theme
was
song they
pretty
did it was like straight up Office theme, and then they went Modern Family with it. I was like, no. So I didn't like any of that stuff, but the real world stuff I thought was really interesting because one, you're tying everything into the snap, which I thought was great, and kind of what's happening after that. And you're getting a lot of characters that like the side characters from the movies are coming back and playing major roles in the TV show, which I thought was really cool. So
Yeah.
Jimmy Woo is played by Randall Park, and I was combining those
Okay.
in
Fake
a
Jim.
way. So I really liked him. I really like Darcy, which is Kat Jennings' character. So, but yeah, like just getting through the slog, and then at the very end, it was just like standard Marvel fight, standard Marvel exposition.
Not even. I think it was like worse than some. I've seen Marvel fights.
Okay, yeah.
Usually
well,
they're better, even better than that.
Okay, I shouldn't say Marvel. I should just say like superhero in general. You see
Yeah,
this
yeah, generic,
animated movie,
generic superhero fight.
whatever medium, it's just like generic superhero fight, and then it ends, and yeah, it wasn't anything cool. But everything in the world was great. Like all that stuff was fantastic. But because it was split so so evenly, I got to give it a 5. I loved everything that they were doing around it, but the actual premise that they built on and gave to you was lackluster, I think. So 5 out of 10.
Fair enough.
And I'm
I guess I'll follow that up with I thought that I actually thoroughly enjoyed this, and I think the biggest difference between us is that I actually found some of the earlier real world stuff to be my least favorite parts of the show. I was actually really enjoying the sitcom portions of episodes, and especially I did like the not the fourth wall breaking. Well, I guess the in-universe fourth wall breaking of the sitcom. Yeah, it's a weirdly meta sort of thing. Show within a show, and it's a perfect environment for Leonardo DiCaprio to get her to sell her company. But like a lot of the sitcom stuff I thought was really good. I mean, looking at it from the perspective of they are being very true to these mediums, I think helped a lot for that, because I don't sit around watching I Love Lucy, but I've seen episodes of I Love Lucy, I've seen episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show, and I was like, this feels spot on, and I was kind of like really just impressed with that, with the I guess the balls that they had to do something so just straightforwardly old school sitcom, and then just kind of throw in a little bit of spice at the end of the first 2 episodes, and then even the third episode actually was just like a 70s sitcom, and I was like, man, that's crazy. I thought that was the plot of that one was weaker, but the reveal at the end was awesome. And so I liked all that stuff. I thought that like how the intros were all different was really cool. I've been saying this on this show for a while, but I am so happy that it's just 9 episodes and that's it. We're done. It's over. We should be doing this. We should be doing stuff like this way more often in pop culture in America, because like 40 season TV shows just like fall apart. Like I'm so happy that they had a story that they wanted to tell. They didn't really execute on it perfectly, but they did some really cool stuff with the knowledge that this is a limited series. The different intros, the way Wanda sang previously on WandaVision kind of changes in tone each episode. I thought was a really cool little flourish. And ultimately, I think the weakest thing was that they just didn't set up. Well, I guess the climax felt a little less than spectacular, probably because it was on a TV show budget and not a movie budget.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
But like, I mean, still a very satisfying ending. I did feel I definitely felt, I didn't cry, but I definitely was like a little teary-eyed when she was saying goodbye to her kids. Like I knew they were fake and everything, but I was just like, yeah, man, they know how to do goodbye scenes. I guess Marvel is pretty good at goodbye scenes, and this is no exception. So all of that, like, I thought fantastic attempt at a limited series, significantly better than any other Marvel TV show content. I do not care what you think about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. Those are not anywhere near the same caliber of this show.
Well, I'll say the Netflix original Marvel shows.
Daredevil is an exception for me, but the other Luke Cage and the
Punisher
other one,
season 1 I think is really good too.
I never watched that one, but I'm not a big Punisher guy. But yeah, Daredevil season 1 I should not lump into that category of other Marvel shows. But basically, like, I thought they did a great job on this. I would give it like a 7.5 maybe pushing 8. I'm sorry, a strong 7 to light 8.
There you go.
For I know I got myself slipping, man.
Yeah.
For
This is your brand,
this.
man.
It's literally I stole it from Anthony Fantano, and here we are. But yeah, I thought it was good. I really liked it. Strong 7 to soft boiled 8.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think I give this like a 6, maybe a 6.5. I don't know, somewhere in there. A for effort. A for effort, because I really like the idea of the sitcom. I really admire how like balls to the wall they went with like the sitcom element of it. They really went in strong with it, and it was a gutsy move, especially those first 2 episodes. I think it was a slow burn, and it didn't work for me. But man, that's gotta give them credit. Like, they really went in on the sitcom thing, and I like it. I like sitcoms, and so I appreciate it. It didn't work for me personally, and I did think it was just kind of dragging on. When they balanced out after the 2nd episode the real world events a little bit more with the sitcom element, it was a little bit easier to digest for me. But I really, like I said, A for effort, because and it just didn't work for me sometimes, the sitcom thing. But I really like it. I really thought that was clever, doing different kinds of sitcoms. Like, that's a great idea. I would have never thought of that. Like, very clever, whoever came up with this whole concept. So I like that. It didn't work for me personally all the time, especially those first 2 episodes. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good way to get people drawn into your show. I always say the pilot episode, it matters so much. It reflects on the show so much, because you're either going to get people into it with that pilot or you're not, and that it means everything. And my favorite shows, some of the best shows, not always, this isn't like a rule for every show, but the best shows generally have really strong pilots that are made in a way so that you want to watch that next episode. And man, I went 2 whole episodes just watching the clock, like, there's more.
That is a great point. I agree with you very strongly, because I am one of those people that did not get through the first episode.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I would not have watched WandaVision if we weren't going to do it for the podcast. I would have just caught up on social media. But since we were going to do it for the podcast, I specifically did not look at those things. So
yeah. And like I said, it's not a rule that applies to every great show. Like Game of Thrones had a really shitty pilot, a really shitty couple of pilot episodes, really.
I love this.
Super slow burn.
I think the first 3 episodes of Game of Thrones.
First 3 episodes are brutal, and then it gets
those.
good, and it ends up being nice. But it's like, those are snooze,
and then it falls apart at the end.
Hour-long snooze fests.
Man, that drawing of that horse,
you know?
the one where it's like the horse is like really beautiful, and then the ass is like just a shitty drawing.
Yeah.
It should actually, the nose of the horse should also be kind of shitty looking. Like,
Right,
the shading just shouldn't be quite right on the nose of that horse.
But then, Game of Thrones is an amazing show, so it's not like it's always that way with great shows. But generally speaking, like, my favorite ones for it, like Breaking Bad, an amazing pilot. I thought a great pilot episode.
Yeah, I agree. Right away. That pilot's really
good. So anyway, my point is, it didn't work for me. It was a slow burn at the beginning, but I really liked the idea. And the last 4 episodes are really good. Like, I think from the Malcolm in the Middle episode 6, from that point on, they really get good. And I both love and hate the deep lore. Because on the one hand, I'm kind of a nerd, and I like the deep lore. I like that they're borrowing from all these they're making obscure references to, like, Ant-Man 2, and they're taking a character from the first Thor movie, and all this, like, that's cool. But on the other hand, I always think about, like, especially with these Disney Plus shows, like, this is not a show that you could just show to any, like, random person who doesn't know all the Marvel lore. They wouldn't get it. They wouldn't like it. And part of why we are so interested is because we've seen so many of the Marvel movies, and that's just baked into the cake. That's why you watch the show. If it had no affiliation to this greater web, it's both a great thing, but also it kind of sucks too, because if you don't like it, or if you're not into the Marvel thing, then maybe this show's way less interesting to you.
That's a good point.
Well, yeah, but
that sucks, because does it mean that the show is objectively good if you don't like the whole MCU? It might be way worse if you don't like the whole thing. And so now you basically have to like all these other movies and all this other lore Otherwise, maybe the show kind of is just whatever for you, you know?
A lot of people have brought that up, that I've talked to about the show. And I think it's a really interesting one because I feel like it kind of goes back to Danon's Dear Asshole. Marvel is so cemented in pop culture currently that you're either in or you're out, I think, at this point. I mean, maybe you're a baby and you just got to age where like you can start enjoying Marvel content, but like I honestly believe that the foundation that they've built and continue to build on, like Danon said, I guess at the beginning of this, is one of the most fantastic historical things that have been done in human creative history, at least with popular media. And I don't want them to squander that by having to like limit themselves to not getting too crazy with it because maybe people haven't seen the source material, or not even the source material, just like the last episode or whatever. Like I think,
but there's so much source material. It's a lot to ask. Like you guys haven't even seen that. You haven't seen Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
you haven't
but, like,
seen the second Spider-Man movie, and there is Captain Marvel. You haven't seen that one. So like,
yeah,
there's
but
so
me not
much.
seeing Captain Marvel and not knowing what that lizard person was at the end, I didn't know she was called a Skrull. I thought you were talking about like an actual scroll when you first brought it up, and I was like, I don't remember. There was a what?
But I'm not, yeah, I guess. Okay,
but,
sorry.
Like that didn't bother me. I mean, that's just my point. Is like I haven't. There's some I've pick and choose Marvel movies because some of them I know are going to be bad. I didn't watch Black Panther because I just had a feeling that I wasn't going to enjoy it.
That's another one that's like very middle of the road.
A lot of people like that one too, but like I was like, I don't think this.
That's got another really dumb fight scene at the end too.
It does.
It's
literally just
got a really dumb generic
two pieces of black rubber on a black background to smack at each other.
It's really bad.
Terrible.
But you know what I'm trying to say is like you compare it to talk about lore, and this is where you can ring the bell. The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You don't need to know a lot about Star Wars to really love the show. I showed my 65-year-old dad The Mandalorian. He knows nothing about Star Wars, and he loved it.
You don't think that
You know
your
what I'm saying?
65-year-old dad wouldn't love a show that starts off strong with two kind of creepy episodes of I Love Lucy and the Dick Van Dyke Show?
I think he'd be intrigued, but then as soon as we get into all the real world stuff would make no sense to him, and he wouldn't care about it, you know. And all the lore would go way over his head, because the lore is necessary to enjoy the show fully. So maybe you might be intrigued by the show. Maybe it still might be fun. There might be aspects of it like the sitcom thing. Where you're like, oh, I love the Dick Van Dyke Show or whatever, and that might be nice or intriguing to you, but you're not gonna get a lot out of this show if you're not a Marvel fan. And the Mandalorian is not like that, you know. And when you talk about lore, it's like Star Wars has got a lot more lore than the MCU, and yet the Mandalorian is completely digestible to people who know nothing about Star Wars.
That's actually a really interesting. I don't know. Do you think that the extended universe has more lore, or do you think that the Marvel comic books have more lore? Like which?
Well, I'm just talking about the.
No, I know what you mean, but you just made me. This is a tangent. I was just like, man, which is it? Like the entire Marvel production line of comics, or the entire Star Wars production line of extended universe stuff? I wonder which one is like a deeper. Well,
that's actually that's a good question.
I would say Marvel because there's so many. Well, first of all, you have decades and decades of storytelling.
They do have decades on top, but it's limited because like they've been doing comics ever since the 50s or maybe the 40s. But Star Wars, dude, as soon as the 80s hit, man, they were writing novels like fucking constantly. There's at least 1,000 Star Wars novels.
And Star Wars comics. There's actually a ton. There's a ton
the Dark Horse
of Star Wars
guys
comics, all the Dark Horse things, and then all the Marvel ones now.
But you're right, the time difference. That's why it's like it's a fair fight, I think, because like writing comics a comic out a week since the fucking 40s, or just like the zeitgeist that Star Wars was for the last 40 years. Like which one has produced more lore? I'd be very curious.
And there's not a lot of unofficial Marvel stuff. I mean, most of it is made in-house by Marvel, or they have other comic book companies help them out with doing things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But again, they've been pumping out a comic a week
Yeah,
at minimum,
exactly.
if not
Forever.
more.
And
So,
definitely more. Yeah, definitely more.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of storylines that don't go anywhere. You know, that they just kind of end like they're kind of just like one-off things. Like Old Man Logan storyline was like I think
Mhm.
14 comics, and then it was just
That's
like
a good point
kind
too.
of a
Yeah, there's a
story.
lot of like.
You know, it's just like a what if story. So
Yeah. That's a good point. There's a lot of random offshoot what ifs.
I want to wrap this thing up because we're at an hour and 59 minutes right now. So
Oh, nice.
so I want to read Liz's novel, Liz's
Whoa.
official canon novel that she wrote me. So she says, I don't like the sitcoms, but it was done so well. All the episodes were important to build the climax. Storyline, great. Love the creativity and imagination used. Script, delivery, decades. And even commercials were done so well. I like, the commercials. The commercials were
Those
pretty
commercials
good.
were
Those
cool
pretty
and
good.
weird. I
Funny.
forgot
Yeah,
about
those
those.
are funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really good, like the Hydra one with the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of really cool. The Stark Industries toaster, stuff like that.
The shark that like comes up onto the beach and gives that kid that thing. and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
withers
yeah,
away
that's a
and
good one.
dies anyways.
That was pretty funny.
It
That
was
reminds
so
me of that.
creepy.
Have you guys seen that Rocket Jump short, where they make fun of the '90s, and they give them like some Capri Sun thing, and they they drink the Capri Sun, and then they turn into like molten like metal and stuff, and they go play football with their friends, and they form they back to their old form, but they accidentally form into like this grotesque monster that just starts murdering all the kids and throwing up.
That sounds
like,
awesome.
You haven't seen this? It's so good.
No, I have not
I'll
seen
have to send it to you.
It's been a
man.
while. I think I remember this one.
It's pretty good. And yeah. Anyway, so she also liked the end credits, incorporating old MCU characters. Chemistry between Wanda and Vision was enchanting. Loved the introduction to Agatha and thought Catherine played both parts well. Loved her finally being named as the Scarlet Witch. It was funny, sweet, and weird, gone where other Marvel releases haven't yet tied in the movies greatly. Fun way to start Phase 4 and good setup for Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange. Evan Peters. I guess that's just a point in itself. So she gives it a 9. She says I wasn't gonna get Disney Plus until The Falcon and Winter Soldier and watch both at the same time, but very glad I got it. You're welcome. We did that.
We did
Just
that.
kidding. I'm not gonna take credit for that. It was a story of her grief, and it showed all the stages of that so well. Okay, I'm done. First episodes were first stage denial, and then so on and so forth. Interesting.
That's cool.
I didn't pick up on that. That's a good point.
I didn't pick up on that either.
That's a good point.
Huh.
She's just like dealing with the grief. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, she gives it a 9 out of 10. All right. Well, that's it. What are we gonna do? She says the psychologist in me was like, wait a damn minute. Interesting. Okay. I wonder if more people with a psychology background picked up on that.
I'm surprised I didn't pick up on that. There's an album that I really like that is about the stages of grief.
You do like nuances, Ben.
I do like that shit, and I usually pick
Yeah.
up on it, man.
Mhm.
I knew everything about that
Semantics.
stupid Black Grimoire, and I completely missed this theme. That's
yeah.
so cool.
Come on.
Damn, I feel like a dummy
Amateur.
now. Liz, you outplayed me.
It's like psychologist
Checkmate.
and amateur.
You amateur, Ben. You amateur. Leave it to the professionals.
I do my best with what I'm given.
Okay, so what should we do for next week? Because
I was gonna say
I do want to say
okay.
my dad is working crazy hours at his job right now, so he's not gonna be able to join us every week. I hope he can join us when he is able to. But yeah, so it's gonna be us three, and then I'll get other people to sub in like Perry and hopefully Ray. So cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any ideas for next week?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you guys haven't seen The Little Things yet or heard about it, it's pretty good. It's it just came out. I don't know. You'd have to get in HBO Max. It's the new Denzel Washington movie with Rami Malek and Jared Leto,
Oh, okay.
and it's really good. It's a psychological thriller. It's kind of Seven-ish.
Oh, I do like 7. Okay.
If you like Seven, you'll really like this movie. I liked it a lot.
Okay, yeah,
That was
we
good.
can do it for next week.
All right,
Okay,
it's
I
on-
don't want
it's
to
on
overhype
HBO.
it.
It's
And
on
I-
HBO.
yeah, I don't want to overhype it, but I enjoyed it. I'll just leave it there.
If it's not the best movie I've ever seen, then I'm gonna come in here swinging
dare
at
you.
you.
Hey, Mephisto.
Yeah.
Mephisto says, hey in the chat. What's up? How's it going?
And it just came out too. It was just released on HBO Max, so it's relevant. You know.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So it's, yeah, pretty
I'm in.
Yeah, I
Little
think it only
things.
came out a couple weeks ago, Jer? Maybe like a month ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
recent.
do it.
Yeah. So Mephisto, you came in just as we're ending, so you can just go ahead and start 2 hours.
Take that
Just
slide
go
bar.
on.
Drag that,
Yeah,
drag
just
that,
drag
little
that-
thing
drag that
all
bitch,
the way
you
in the
know.
beginning.
And then while you're
You'll
at
get-
it, while you're down there, just smash that subscribe button, okay? It's just a
Smash.
couple
I'm not with
pixels
him.
over. And
I
just,
don't.
just
I'm-
throwing it out
Jesus.
there.
Don't
Okay.
subscribe to us.
Don't
subs-
fucking
no,
sub-
please
Don't
subscribe to us.
subscribe to us. Don't at me
Yeah, hey,
on
hey,
Instagram with your opinions.
don't follow us on Instagram, okay? Do not follow us at We Like This Podcast. I don't even want to fucking see the notification that says that you subscribed, okay? I don't want to see that. Don't like this.
Listen,
Don't join our Discord where the link is in the description. Don't even look at that, okay? It's not for you.
No.
That's not
Oh,
for
you-
you. This is an
Yeah.
exclusive club, okay? We like
Mhm.
having 5 viewers every single week.
It's called We Like This.
Yeah,
You're
not-
not in the
Us. Not you
You're not
like
in the
this.
now,
We.
You're not
that
a
we're-
part of the royal we.
now that we're alienating our audience, that's all we got.
Reverse
I'm
psychology.
just kidding. Thank you for joining us. We go live every week, every Tuesday, 7:30. Please do follow us. I love seeing you guys in the chat. It makes my day. It makes my
Welcome
week.
to Walmart. I love you.
And welcome to Walmart. Ben loves you. But yeah, you can follow us. Our Discord is down in the description. You can click on that link and join us and see what the next movie is and when we're going live and all that stuff. And then our Instagram, follow us there. You'll get all the notifications. So yeah, cool. Thank you for tuning in. Love seeing it. And then we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
That was a bad smile.